What's going on, guys? Bengal again here, coming back at you with another video, and today we are rebuilding my favorite team, the New York Giants. And it's been an up and down season. Started out 1-7, got on a little bit of a winning streak before kind of showing what team they were against the Cardinals. It's been a weird season, man. But if you guys are new here, make sure you hit that subscribe button, grab the popcorn. It's going to be a long one. 20-year rebuild of the New York Giants. This is the fourth 20-year rebuild, I believe, that I've done. I've done the Bengals, I've done Raiders, and most recently I've done the Jets. Everything you're ever going to want to need is in the rebuild playlist as far as rebuilds go. Do a lot of other things on the channel too, like real life football, mock drafts, talking NFL, career sims recently, Jags franchise. There's a lot of stuff. So if you are new, go check those out maybe. But after the video, because we're talking about the Giants here, and it pains me. A lot of people think I'm a bad fan because I'm critical of a team that's won the fewest amount of games over the past 3 years in the entire NFL. That's a real stat, or at least it was a couple weeks ago still. I'm not sure if it's true because the Giants have actually been on a little bit of a winning streak, but they lost to the Cardinals. We talked about that. Let's go ahead, talk about the team. I'm going to be mean. I mean, there's no way around it. I will talk about some upsides because there have been some really, really good things that have happened, but also we got to be realistic. So we are starting from week 14. It's the latest I can go, but the Giants got crushed by the Cardinals, so I do have to force a loss here, and I'll force wins for the Eagles and football team and the Cowboys. Every team in the NFC East except for, or excuse me, NFC least, except for the Giants won this week, unfortunately. Okay, so the wins are where they need to be. Let's go ahead and load in the class. I'm using a 2021 class, 2021 NFL Draft Bengal, of course, and this class continues to piss me off because Trevor Lawrence loads in as NA instead of Clemson. Not applicable. Well, he went to Clemson, I can promise you. And while I'm not quite sure who I want to draft yet, I have some ideas. But let's talk about the team, man. Of course, injuries are off because we don't want to let randomness kind of affect the team that we build. But Saquon Barkley, one of the best running backs in the league when he's healthy. If an offensive line would actually like to run block for him, that'd be incredible. And this is not a great offensive line. Nate Solder opted out, and he's also terrible. So I'm going to cut him. He's getting paid way too much. I'll take the cap penalty. We'll rearrange some things. Andrew Thomas was probably the worst of the big four tackles that went in the first round, and that's Tristan Wirfs, who's played like an all-pro. That's Jedrick Wills, who's had an up-and-down season, and then Mekhi Becton, who's been amazing when he's been healthy for the Jets. Andrew Thomas has played better of late. I'll give him that. Will Hernandez hasn't developed great. Nick Gates is probably rated a little bit too low, but what would he really be? Like a 65 rather than a 60? I mean, it's not like it'd be a huge, impactful increase. Kevin Tyler really hasn't been that amazing with the Giants. And then Matt Pert has been really good in limited opportunities, especially as a run blocker. But you can see by his ratings here, run blocking and pass block power, nice. But his run blocking is actually lower than his pass blocking because he's been such a weird player. Because at UConn, this guy was not really this great run blocker. Pass protection was his best asset. In the NFL, the script has flipped. And he's a lot better than Cameron Fleming, in my opinion, who is viciously bad. I don't want to hear otherwise at all. Daniel Jones. Listen, Giants fans, I'm a Giants fan. I get it. Everyone wants him to be great, but he isn't. He's a bad player right now. And that doesn't mean he doesn't have flashes of brilliance. He does, but he's super inconsistent, and he's kind of like the white Jameis Winston, where he just doesn't know how to throw the football away. He forces it regularly. And it's not like his receivers have given him a great deal of help either. I get that. Sterling Shepard, Golden Tate, Darius Slayton just don't get open. Darius Slayton I like. He's a good player. But like Kenny Golladay, for example, for the Lions, also doesn't get open, but he's a good receiver. As he goes up, uses his other attributes. And sometimes when Darius Slayton's deep down the field, Jones just misses him. But these guys, they're not the best route runners anymore. Sterling Shepard was really good for a while. Golden Tate, really good for a while. If you look at the advanced metrics for receiver separation, especially when targeted, they're below average in those categories. Like they're not the players they used to be. Except for Darius Slayton, there is hope for him down the line. I like him a lot, but he's really a wide receiver too. I don't think he's a wide receiver one on any team, but he's a good player. I like him. Just I don't know. He's not elite enough of a route runner to be a consistent option at this moment in time. Even though I do like him as a player. Evan Ingram does get open at the highest rate of any receiver on the Giants. That's what he is, dude. He's a big receiver. He's gotten better at blocking down the line, but he's not really like a classic tight end. He doesn't have to be. If he could just catch the ball, man, he'd be like the best tight end in the NFL. Maybe not that much, but like top 5. He just doesn't catch consistently. The hands are like bricks at times, and it's so frustrating. Defensively, this is the strength of the team. It's looked awesome. I think the defensive line is rated a little bit too low for how good they've played. Leonard Williams has been awesome. Dalvin Tomlinson, Dexter Lawrence, those are good players. Basically, the Dave Gettleman strategy was, I'm just going to get 3 nose tackles, essentially. Leonard Williams being the most pass rush savvy of anybody on this D-line. But really, they're all just big D tackles. Leonard Williams, 6'5", 302. More of a 3-4 end than the other guys, don't get me wrong. But, I mean, they just got big bodies up front. And that's made life really easy for guys like Blake Martinez. People have been asking me, what do I think about him now that he's on the Giants? I was highly critical of him for the Packers. And for good reason. He can't cover. He just can't. Still can't really cover. But the fact that he's able to clean up easily because of how strong the front 3 is, it's made him look pretty good this year. Still tackles way too far down the field. The tackles aren't the most impactful, but he has played definitely better with this Giants front than what he did in Green Bay. And I think that's a big reason because of the defensive line being a lot better for the Giants than it was for the Packers. Lorenzo Carter is decent, not amazing. O'Shane Ximines I like. We're going to move Jabal Sheard down to like left end, get him out of there. I want O'Shane Ximines and Lorenzo Carter playing. I don't really want him playing too much, so I'm going to change that position. Giants picked him up after like getting rid of Marcus Golden. And then Marcus Golden drilled Daniel Jones most recently against the Cardinals. But yeah, David Mayo is not good. I get that. It's so funny seeing Giants fans on Twitter praising Tay Crowder and Devontae Downs. Like, they're at the very best playing above what you'd expect. And that's, you wouldn't really expect much from the last pick in the draft in Tay Crowder. But he has looked better than that. Slightly. I need to get Jabal Sheard out of there, please. Kyler Fackrell, he's whatever. He got a pick 6. Good for him. And then you look in the secondary. Wow. It's been super up and down. Logan Ryan's played very good. He's played very well. We're going to move him to cornerback, though, because a player I was really excited the Giants drafted is finally back and healthy. Hasn't played really at all this season until 2 weeks ago. Didn't really see the field all that much. And then actually played more significant downs against the Cardinals. And I really like him for the future. Would love to see him develop. I really would. Jabril Peppers is a decent player. He's special sometimes. I mean, also not so great sometimes. But overall, I like Jabril Peppers. But the best player on defense so far for the Giants, by a country mile, has been James Bradberry. Great signing. Props to Dave Gettleman where it's deserved. This was a very, very good signing. I was pretty happy about it at the time. Never would have expected that he would jump to an all-pro level, because that's where he's been. He's been unbelievable. And not really with a ton of help. He's pretty much been on an island. And the other corners have been targeted more frequently because Isaac Yiadom is bad. Giants made a move for him. He's just a bad player. I'd rather have Darnay Holmes play. Big play Darnay, but he's probably going to be my slot guy, even though Logan Ryan's way more suited to that role. Darnay Holmes, rookie at UCLA. Is he really 5'10"? I thought he was like 5'9" and 3/4. I want to see his combine measurement. I do. But it's not super relevant. Never really going to be an outside guy. But I think eventually, as a slot corner in the future, Darnay Holmes could be a really good player. I love this draft pick. I was excited about it when they took him. But he's only 72 overall, 22 years old, normal dev. He's going to need something to stay on this team for a long time. But that's basically the team. You've seen it. Julian Love on there as well. I mean, I could mention BJ Hill. There's not too much more to mention. I'm not even going to talk about Sam Beal. Xavier McKinney as a sub linebacker, that's next level. Really can't happen. Julian Love, I guess, will play that role. I mean, Lorenzo Carter doesn't necessarily have to be a rush end. He's got 75 finesse moves. Don't really think I'm going to move him down. I don't know if he stays on the team long term. He's not one of the guys that's a free agent at the end of the year, though. That's Leonard Williams. That's Dalvin Tomlinson. That's I mean, I guess Devontae Freeman, but he doesn't matter. A lot of these guys won't matter. But yeah, that's the team. You've seen it. I've critiqued it. Hopefully given enough insight on it. And we will simulate to the playoffs. This could be a playoff team. Giants could sneak in here, but they are 5-8. Football team is 6-7. So that will change here in a minute. Will the Giants clutch up and actually make the playoffs? Will we lose out, or will we be somewhere in between? We'll find out here in a moment. As we lost 45-7 in Week 17. Finished 5-11, worst in the NFC East. Things you hate to see. Of course, these stats are going to be mixed with real-life numbers. And, man, Daniel Jones, a season to forget. 2,900 yards, 11 TDs, 15 picks. Not great. Not great. But, hey, always room for improvement. Rushing, Daniel Jones led the team in rushing yards. Saquon's injured. What else do you have? Wayne Gallman. Why is he not on the stat sheet? Does Wayne Gallman not exist? Guess not. Dude, Wayne Gallman had a game where he averaged like 3.8 yards per carry, but had over 100 yards. I saw a Giants post about it on Instagram, and the whole comments is like, let's go. Dude, he averaged less than 4 yards per carry. Don't get excited about it. It was okay. Darius Slayton led the team in yards, 5 picks. Man, Giants fans are going to hate me. I'm just so mean. Like, you can't be happy about anything. But listen, there's not much to be happy about. When the Giants are actually a decent team, we can be happy about it. But for right now, just remain calm. Leonard Williams, 13 sacks. How many does he have in real life? It can't be more than 8. 8.5. Oh, yeah, he had 2.5 sacks against the Seahawks. Well, I knew that, but I didn't think it was 8.5 right now. Good for Leonard Williams. Tell you what, I better see some superstar dev from Leonard Williams, but more importantly, from James Bradberry. Show me superstar at the end of the year. I'll be overjoyed. But needless to say, this team did not make the playoffs, finishing 5-11. And football team did make the playoffs, finishing 7-9. We're going to jump to the offseason. We got tough decisions to make regarding Dalvin Tomlinson, Leonard Williams. Probably some other guys I'm forgetting, but we'll see. Leonard Williams goes up to superstar. I love to see it. Made the Pro Bowl and got it. Well, I need to extend him long term. But he is 27. He's going to develop for the next season, probably the year after that. His ceiling's like 86 overall, and then he's going to start to downgrade. I can have him getting worse for 2 seasons. So, 4-year contract, and he is back. Logan Ryan's 30. I would give him a 2-year contract. Really can't give him much more than that. He gets test free agency. That's fine. Mutual parting. I gave him more than he wanted, and he still is like, no. Which is all right. I mean, you can't play cornerback for me with 86 speed, and we have our safety of the future in Xavier McKinney at free safety. Dalvin Tomlinson. Same deal with Leonard Williams. Kind of tough. I'll give him a 3-year deal. Might have to up the money just a little bit to make him sign. And he is back. And then, come on. Do I really want anyone else? No. Who's going to be in free agency? The big guys aren't really going to hit till next year. Shaq Barrett. That's an interesting option. He's 28, though. I can't play it like it's real life. I'd love to have Shaq Barrett in real life. In the game, I know he's going to start to regress. He's going to want a 4 or 5 year deal. I mean, I don't want you when you're 32 and an 80 overall. It's just not worth it. I'd rather draft somebody and get them trending higher than an 88 than have someone that is trending towards a 78. Do I want anybody in free agency? I mean, Mike Hilton could be a good slot corner for me. And James Bradberry has superstar. Let's go. You love to see that. Mike Hilton. I think I'd rather have Darnay Holmes in the slot and try to develop him. But if I can get Mike Hilton on a 3-year deal for cheap, I mean, sign me up. Sign me up. Really bad contract, but if he wants to accept that, I mean, go ahead. Logan Ryan looks like he's headed to Cincinnati. I'm probably going to end up making some trades to acquire another first-round pick. I didn't have auto scouting on. What's probably going to happen is Golden Tate is going to go. Golden Tate's gone. Did Golden Tate retire? All right, Golden Tate retired. I mean, I guess he knew. I guess he knew I was going to trade him. Well, anyways, we need a third receiver now. And it's like, listen, I like Sterling Shepard in real life. Dude's 28 right now, star dev. He's going downhill. I need somebody else. We'd use some upgrades on the O-line, some increase in overalls. But the defense with superstar development now from Williams and Bradbury makes it look a lot better. We need a corner. We need linebackers. There's still a lot of needs on this team. I think the two biggest, though, at least in real life, is edge and receiver. Something's got to open up this offense. I don't think I'm going to take a QB this year. Mike Hilton rejects. It's not a huge shock. Fifth-year options for Saquon. Yeah, I think I'm going to accept that. I don't know if you guys could tell, but I'm kind of a little bit of a big Saquon Barkley fan. A little bit of a big one. Yeah, let's not be redundant at all. Or rather than redundant, oxymoronic, contradictory. NFL draft time. We are picking at number 9 overall. Really, at 5 and 11? Jets at number 1. Go Trevor Lawrence. The NA is pissing me off. Jags take Justin Fields. Broncos at number 3. Go for Penei Sewell. The Bengals take Micah Parsons. Panthers. Gregory Rousseau. Falcons at number 6. Go Patrick Surtain. Interesting spot for the Chargers at 7 as they go Caleb Farley. And now the Dolphins at number 8. Who are they going to take? Jamar Chase. And here we are at number 9. I think the pick's kind of easy for me at this point. Like, yeah, there are some good QBs on the board, but we're going to rock out with Daniel Jones for another year and take Jalen Waddle. Listen, he's probably been my favorite player in college football at least for 2 years now. Unfortunately got injured, tore his ACL. That didn't happen. He broke his ankle. I don't know why I said that. It's just, I'm so used to saying that for other players. Jalen Waddle is a special talent. He's probably, in my opinion, receiver 1 in this class. Jamar Chase is great. Most recently, guys are really going for Devontae Smith, who is receiver 2, along with Jalen Waddle. Just saying. Devontae Smith is a great player, better route runner. Jalen Waddle's more dynamic. And what the Giants need is someone that's dynamic. And what offenses need in today's NFL is a dynamic playmaker who can not only take the top off the defense, but catch the ball in traffic and make plays coming out of the backfield even. He's a Tyreek Hill type weapon, even if he's not quite as fast. But Jalen Waddle is incredible. And if the Giants could draft him in 2021, I would be over the moon. And we're going to draft him here. 76 overall, ranked number 7. We took him at number 9. We'll be changing his number to 17. 96 speed, 98 acceleration, good deep route running, good spectacular catching, jumping. I mean, if you've seen Jalen Waddle play, you know he's a stud. He's unbelievable. And will I trade up for a different player? Remains to be seen, because I'm looking to get rid of some guys. I don't think this is going to be a hyper-realistic rebuild. We'll do a realistic rebuild for the Giants later down the line. But let me tell you, I got to get rid of somebody. And it's pretty obvious who. Kevin Zeitler is one. I'll tell you right now, I don't like Blake Martinez's contract at all for the future. I don't. We need help on the O-line. I'm just not sure it's worth trading up. So we'll just hold on to the picks we actually have and make a move at number 9 here in the second round. Trey Lance is still available, dude. I mean, I can't pass him on him at this point. I really can't. I cannot pass on Trey Lance at this point. Welcome to the Giants, Trey Lance. 73 overall, star better development. It had to happen. The fact that he lasted until the second round is unreal. 94 throw power, 84 deep, 78 medium, 81 short. And we have somebody that can definitely hit Jalen Waddle down the field. Is he an upgrade over Daniel Jones at this exact moment? No. I think they're both a 73 overall. But with that star development, it's going to be really tough for me to not start him right away. Paulson Adebo is available, as is Liam Eichenberg. Looks like Kenneth Gainwell's college is not working out as well. It should be Memphis. Some good receivers still available. I think Liam Eichenberg should be the pick here. The edge rushers do not appear to be amazing for the most part. Don't really need to go D-tackle. The linebackers aren't great. Hamilcar Rashed off the edge could be decent. Cornerbacks are decent, yet not amazing. And then we don't really need a safety so much as Bubba Bolden or Caden Stearns would be a decent pick. So I think I've talked myself into Liam Eichenberg. I think that's a clear and obvious pick here. 70 overall, star better development. He's a solid player for Notre Dame. I can definitely see him sneaking into the first round. So the fact that he's available here in the third, awesome. 91 strength. Pass block is fairly high. So super excited to add him to the team. Round 4. We could take another dynamic playmaker in Kadarius Toney. He's like Jalen Waddle light. At least with the ball in his hands. He's like Waddle, but he's not as a receiver. Do we need to go receiver here? We really don't. That's the thing. I'm going to go Rashad Weaver. 67 overall, star better development out of Pitt. Ranked number 112, took him at 105. I think he's a pretty good player too. I think Pitt is going to produce a really good defensive line this year. They've got studs all over it. My favorite is kind of a toss-up. I'm a big Patrick Jones guy, but also a D-tackle. Jalen Twyman is a monster. Rashad Weaver pretty good though, and he is now on the Giants. Round 6. Is anyone worth taking here? Or I'm just going to let the CPU handle it. Probably just going to let the CPU handle it. They can take whoever. Doesn't really matter too much. I mean, there's some good players in here still. But none for me. I would say it was a pretty good draft for us. Got some players I definitely wanted in Jalen Waddle for sure. I mean, that was a no-brainer. He's probably going to play in the slot this first year. And, I mean, he's a scheme fit as well. Trey Lance has got to start over Daniel Jones. Like, you can't blame me for that. It has to happen. Liam Eichenberg is going to stay at right tackle, which means Matt Hurt probably going to be groomed to be a right guard at this point and replace Kevin Zeitler down the line. So this is the team for season number 2. And, I mean, the Madden draft is just broken sometimes. We got like 3 first-round caliber players in Liam Eichenberg, Trey Lance, Jalen Waddle, and they're all going to play. I had to go with Trey Lance over Daniel Jones, not only because he's a scheme fit, but because he's just way better for the future. I mean, it's not even close. It isn't even close. Star dev or even higher potential. I actually don't remember what I gave him. It's star or superstar. It's not X Factor. I guarantee you that much. But yeah, I mean, definitely the right call. Mid-season mark here in 2021. We are 6-2. As are the Cowboys. Football team's 5-2. And Evan Ingram will be a free agent. Looking at the development traits from our rookies, Trey Lance, star. Jalen Waddle, superstar X Factor. Listen, I will not back down on this. I think Waddle is an absolute superstar. I really do. That should be pretty clear. So I'm going to get up, stand on the table for my guy. And Jalen Waddle is that. I think he's unreal. Evan Ingram. Do I want him back? It's got to be, yeah. I also moved Kevin Zeitler to center. I don't know if I mentioned that. But, yeah, Evan Ingram, 5-year contract. It's a pretty reasonable contract as long as he catches the football, which in simulation, he better catch the football. Zeitler, I don't know, maybe 3 years on him. He went up to an 84 overall as a center. I'm fine to bring him back. He'll stay at around an 80 overall for the duration of the rebuild. Jabril Peppers, for the duration of the rebuild. I'm doing 20 years. That just sunk in. All right, Jabril Peppers, probably a 6-year deal on him. I'm going to want him for a while. Up the money a little bit. And that is a reasonable contract. Will Hernandez, another guy I'm going to want for a while. I would give him a 6-year deal. Again, pretty reasonable contract. He should be able to develop pretty well. Lorenzo Carter, this is one where I'm like, I don't care. He's too expensive for not being that great. 77 overall, normal development. I am out. 9-7, made the playoffs. Finished 3rd in the division. The NFC least went to the NFC beast. 13-3 Cowboys, 11-5 football team. Had the 9th best offense, except for Trey Lance threw 23 touchdowns only. Best defense in the league in terms of yards. What a weird rookie year. Threw for a ton of yards, only 23 touchdowns. Rushing, I mean, we just didn't score that much. Saquon, 7 touchdowns, 9 for Elijah Mitchell. Is this a joke? Taquan Mizell, what is happening? Receiving, Jalen Waddle, almost 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns. I would say it's a very productive rookie season. I changed him to 17, by the way. Darius Slayton over 1,000 yards, 6 touchdowns. Shepard over 600, 2 TDs. Evan Ingram was all right, but really was the top 2 guys playing the best. Defensively, Darnay Holmes, 94 tackles, 2 for loss. No interceptions, though. Dexter Lawrence had 15 tackles for loss, 12 from O'Shane Zimenez, 11 from Lorenzo Carter. And Zimenez also led the team in sacks with 6.5, 5 for Leonard Williams, 5 for Dalvin Tomlinson, 3 for Big Dex. Julian Love, 4 picks, 3 for James Bradbury. And then for yearly awards, Deshaun Watson wins MVP. NFC Offensive Player of the Year, Russell Wilson. No Giants. Defensive Player of the Year, Eric Kendricks. No Giants. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Trey Lance. Jalen Waddle at 5. Elijah Mitchell at 8. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year is Jabril Cox. A bunch of Bears in there, but no Giants. Who even would? Like Rashad Weaver? See if we beat the Panthers in the wild card. Man, I grew up watching the Panthers be a thorn in the side of the Giants. I think they had like back-to-back playoff eliminations. At least one. This time, it goes the same way. 35-10. So Lorenzo Carter, we talked about it. BJ Hill, I like him. Just, I don't like him for this team at this moment. He's got to go. In free agency, we have 66 mil if we want to spend it, and Jair Alexander's here. James Bradbury went up to Superstar X Factor, and we can pair him with a Superstar X Factor younger corner who is better. Listen, I love James Bradbury. Jair Alexander is a top 2 or 3 corner in the league. And I'm not going to say who the top 2 are because that's going to create a lot of controversy. Oh, have you seen Xavier Howard's interceptions this year? He's played great. He's played great. Jair Alexander, I want no matter what. But if I can get him on an affordable contract at first, I'm going to do it. I mean, that's a really, really bad contract for him to take. But please take it. Wyatt Teller's here. He's played so well in real life. I am interested. Harold Landry as well. Man, all the good free agents are in here. He's up to Superstar Dev as well. I got to offer him a contract. This is going to be a huge free agent class maybe. Well, we have money. This is kind of reminiscent of that class that featured Olivier Vernon. That never really amounted to all that much. But I would love to get Harold Landry. Tell me we got somebody. Okay, 2 big ones. Harold Landry and Wyatt Teller. Offensive line improves. We had Matt Pert at right guard, but Wyatt Teller is a significant upgrade. And our offensive line looks very solid for the future. Trey Lance will go up to an 80. Good for him. But his short accuracy is not going to be very good. Well, there's their accuracy mid going up. Good on that. Okay, cool. Waddle should be higher. We got Saquon in there. And then defensively, Harold Landry is such a big upgrade. It's ridiculous. O'Shane Zimenez is up to star dev. So I think we'll actually move Harold Landry over to left outside linebacker. And man, we're actually starting to look pretty good. I mean, the Jags are limping in on Deron Payne. Do I offer him a contract? He is a scheme fit. We'd be stealing him from Washington football team, our direct rivals, even though he is going to Jacksonville, if not for us. So I think he's good enough to warrant at least me trying. It's going to be a massive free agent class if everything goes the way I want it to. And we got Jair and we got Deron Payne. Oh my goodness. Okay, we're looking pretty good now. James Bradbury and Jair Alexander. Big play Darnay in the slot. Why Quincy Wilson? No. We didn't necessarily need Deron Payne because we have Dalvin Tomlinson, but it was just way too good of an opportunity, especially when Tomlinson is on, what, 2-year deals or 2 years remaining on his contract? Yeah, I was absolutely the right move. And we also could trade him. I like Dalvin Tomlinson, but also he has become expendable. 5th-year options, Daniel Jones, can't. Maybe going to trade him in the draft. We'll pick it up on Dexter Lawrence, and then DeAndre Baker should be next. We'll pick up his 5th-year option. Oh, he's not showing up. That's strange. All right, I guess we'll just go to the draft then.
Bengal, you didn't hear?
Yeah, I heard. All right. Cardinals at number 1 overall. Man, 2 pretty good QBs at the top of the board. Even one Jerry Tracy ran 4.47 with A+ throw power. Man, this would be the draft to need a QB. Listen, Monty Ingram is the guy. He's the guy. Am I in position to get him? No. Gotta move up. The Cardinals just actually drafted a QB at 1. This is not a joke. This is not a drill. The Cardinals drafted a QB at 1. The Kyler Murray era ended almost as quickly as the Josh Rosen era. Oh my goodness. Oh, there goes Monty Ingram, went at number 9 overall. No way I was trading up to number 9 for a middle linebacker. No way. I'm taking B.J. Robbins here. Nothing like a good B.J. in the center. We're going to go ahead and take him. B.J. Robbins, 76 overall, number 5 in the class. Took him at number 21. And he will be my Kevin Zeitler of the future. Now, Kevin Zeitler is still under contract, but it's good to get him at least on the team. He's going to be pretty cheap, not playing all the time. He'll just slowly but steadily improve and develop. Okay, Daniel Jones and Sterling Shepard are going to the Falcons. They're going to the Falcons for a future first, not one in this class. So we'll see what that ends up being next year. Listen, Daniel Jones was going into his final year. We have Trey Lance. If all else fails, we have Clayton Thorson. But we have Trey Lance. And Sterling Shepard really didn't even play that much. I guess you only need like 2 great receivers to work in Sim. And he wasn't that. But we will need a 3rd receiver. We just didn't need to be paying them 10 mil. That's the difference. I think I'm going to hold on to Dalvin Tomlinson. And probably just simulate to pick number 21 in the 2nd round. There are some guys on my draft board. Patrick Grant, late 1st round guy. Notre Dame tight end though. Sure is tempting. Grant Bass, late 1st round guy. Is he going to matter more than Darnay Holmes? 5'9", 188. They might as well be the same player. He's built for the slot. He's got 4.38 speed. It's either him or the tight end. I'm going to go Grant Bass. 72 overall, normal dev. He's going to be a 4th corner. I think I'll probably still play Darnay Holmes over him. No zone coverage. Nice man coverage, though. And here's my backup running back. Early 2nd round guy, Marquise Thibodeau. Star dev. He's not going to be wearing 26. I'll tell you that for free. No way. Seems to be a pretty good player, though. Just not really a power guy. Trading a 4, a 5, and a 6 for a future 3 from the Vikings. And that will do it for the draft. This will be the team for 2022. Featuring Trey Lance. Got Jalen Waddle, Darius Slayton. An improved offensive line. Backup center. We were grooming him for the future. I don't know if I like that terminology. But the secondary seems like it's amazing for the future. If Bradbury is significantly the oldest guy in the secondary, 29 years old, I'm cool with it. Superstar X Factor. Same thing with Jair. We're looking pretty good. We are looking pretty good. Are you going to be able to move the ball in this defense? No, you're not. I answered it for you. No way. Man, we need a linebacker so bad. Julian Love will continue. Julian Love. Yeah. Dude, I don't know. I always second guess myself. I'm like, Jordan Love, because I was so into him at Utah State that I'm like, oh man, I can't stop saying Jordan Love because you guys, most of you know at this point, I love to do scouting for the draft. And let's stick Slayton in the slot. Try to get him superstar dev. But yeah, I don't even know the safety of my own favorite team. I do. But yeah, played cornerback at Notre Dame. Julian Love. What if I said Jordan there? Would have been funny. I should have. No way. No way is Gary Jennings playing. Please tell me they didn't move him to slot receiver. Why does he have a dev trait challenge? On what planet? He's my 3rd receiver. Maybe he had a good game. I need to see his numbers. 3 touchdowns. I mean, he's not doing anything crazy. What is my team's record right now? Just crushed the Eagles in week 8. We are 3-4. Things you don't love to see. Dexter Lawrence will go up to an 83 overall, maybe. I'm going to do power rusher on him. Need him to be a more dynamic pass rusher. So we're working on that slowly but surely. And Saquon Barkley going to need a contract extension, as is James Bradbury and Darius Slayton and O'Shane Ximines potentially. The rest are probably going to walk, though. 7-year contract for Saquon. Yeah, I'm out here giving 7-year contracts to a running back. James Bradbury, I want him for... He's going to regress at 31, 32 maybe. I think a 3-year deal is more than fair. Maybe a 4-year deal. He can't regress, so he's going to be a superstar X Factor the entire time. He's back. And I normally wouldn't give out monster contracts like this, but this is a 20-year rebuild. I'm going to end up like re-signing these guys anyway. So if they're going to continue to develop, I'm just going to give them a long-term contract. Slayton's back. O'Shane is a solid option as a rotational pass rusher, but as an every down guy, is that contract worth it? It's not too bad. I'll give it to him. So he's back. Those are all the guys I'm going to re-sign. Blake Martinez is going to clear off a lot of money, thankfully. And then, yeah, I guess I'll get this breakout challenge for Gary Jennings. He can't even be on the team in real life. There's no way. I feel like I would have heard about it. But maybe he is. No, he's a free agent. He is a free agent. We're going to simulate to the playoffs, which it doesn't seem like we're going to be making them. 3-4. Not a great start, but you never know. And we did make the playoffs. 9-7. Football team won the division, and that's exactly who we're playing. 8th best offense. Trey Lance numbers are improving. 10th best defense. Trey Lance, 4,100 yards, 35 touchdowns, 14 picks. Rushing, Saquon, almost 1,200 yards, 10 TDs, averaging over 4.3 per carry. Receiving, Darius Slayton, almost 1,200 yards, 9 TDs. Got to be a Pro Bowl. Got to be a Pro Bowl from him. Indeed, made the Pro Bowl. That could be superstar dev. Jalen Waddle had 6 touchdowns. Evan Ingram with 11. Might put Waddle back in the slot just to make him the best receiver of all time. Already up to an 87 overall. He's really, really good. Just, he needs better short route running. Defensively, Blake Martinez, solid year. 3.5 sacks a pick, 7 tackles for loss on 94 tackles. 16 tackles for loss for Deron Payne. He was awesome. 15 for Leonard Williams. Harold Landry had 11 sacks, 7 for Leonard Williams, 5 for O'Shane Ximines, 4 for Dexter Lawrence, 3.5 Blake Martinez. Interceptions, 3 from Jair, 2 from Xavier McKinney. Really? A player that didn't even have one was James Bradbury. Allowed 41 catches. How many did Jair allow? 46? Guess he was just targeted less frequently. Patrick Mahomes wins MVP. Trey Lance at 8. Love to see that. NFC Offensive Player of the Year, Jason Denton. Trey Lance at 3. Defensive Player of the Year is Aaron Donald. No Giants. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Jason Denton. Marquise Thibodeau at 6. Defensive Rookie of the Year is Terrence Turner. Grant Bass at number 10. Whoever that is. Who did I even draft? A center in the first round? Yeah. We'll see if we beat football team here in the wild card. And we don't. Losing by a field goal. Pain here in 2022. Cardinals ended up making the Super Bowl after taking a QB at number 1 and still rocking with Kyler Murray, I'm almost positive. Not really any point to bring these guys back. Maybe Julian Love, but I'd rather draft a safety if I want a safety. Free agency, we have 14.9 mil. Not really in a position to sign anybody. Well, I mean, we could. Carl Lawson wouldn't be bad, but I'm not going to. As we'll just get ready for the draft. 87 overall team across the board. Going into the draft, my biggest focus has to be trading Kevin Zeitler, who's regressing. Down to 79. He's also in the final year of his deal, maybe? Might have 2 years more. Does have 2 years remaining. But now's the time to trade him. We have a center waiting who will be better. Trey Lance up to superstar dev. You'll love to see it. And also, Darius Slayton. Exactly what I wanted to happen. He goes up to superstar. So this is actually going super well. We need a backup tight end. Thibodeau has star. Could have drafted one last year, but I went with a running back. Or did I? Did I take somebody else? I don't know. Is James Bradbury improving? Hopefully he's not regressing. He's not, thankfully. Middle linebacker. Biggest need going into the draft by far. We need to address that. We pick inside the top 10. That's a pick from Minnesota. Cornerback at number 1. Please tell me there's a good linebacker. Could be. Eric Goodson might be the move. Corin Tuck. The last Tuck that played on this team was pretty good. Also went to Notre Dame. Justin Tuck. Okay. Writing's on the wall there. Corin Tuck's got to be the guy. I mean, he also ran 4.44 at 255 pounds. Good Lord. Dolphins picking number 1 overall with Tua. Kind of a yikes for me. And what do I want? Josh Mayer out of Tennessee could be quite good. Wouldn't be mad at that. Linebackers down the board later. I would be okay with Eric Goodson too, but I don't want to take him here. Do I go with an edge? Can Josh Mayer play off the ball? I don't know if I trust him at outside linebacker with 4.67 speed. Great for an end, not so great for an outside linebacker. We're going to take him anyway. Josh Mayer, welcome to the team. 75 overall, only normal development. He is 21 though. 84 speed, 78 finesse moves. Block shed's nice, but I don't know. Will he be able to play left outside linebacker? Remains to be seen. Right now, O'Shane Jimenez is still there. We'll see what's available at 20. Hopefully that middle linebacker is still available. Is he not? Oh, you're kidding. I mean, to be fair, he was a late first-round guy, but it still would have been a really nice pickup to the team. This would be my favorite pick right here, other than that. But we already have a center. I'm going receiver. Mike Whitfield. Ooh. 76 overall. Star better development out of Cal here. Number 8 in the draft, took me number 20. We've seen some pretty good receivers out of Cal. Keenan Allen. Ever hear him? He's pretty good. Deep route running is his main forte. Great speed, as we are building a track team on offense. We got some guys that can fly. How many tucks are in this class? What the tuck, dude? There are a lot of them. I'm taking a running back here. Russ Barr. Elusive back that has B+ trucking. Early first-round guy. Need a power guy behind Saquon Barkley. He's a number 4 ranked player in the class at 77 overall. Good Lord. 89 speed, 80 trucking. Amazing change of direction. He will certainly back up Saquon. Probably not going to be the power back. Let's be honest. Saquon's going to play everything. How did I miss this guy while scouting? Elton Devine out of Auburn. Early first-round guy. And we're going to take him here in the 3rd. 76 overall. Star better development out of Auburn. How did I not see him? I mean, he's already won the starting job over O'Shane Jimenez. How did I not even see that guy? That's wild. And a 3, a 4, and a 5. Just traded for a 3rd round pick instead of a 2nd next year, which I wanted to do. But I mean, they wouldn't have done 3 for 3 anyway, probably. So I just gave him like a 4 and a 4, maybe a 4 and a 5 just for free, which really won't end up mattering. But a little bit of a facepalm there. Now, the middle linebacker won't have a good development trait, as we managed to get 3 76 or higher overall players. Or 75. Yeah, I mean, the first guy we took is the lowest overall of anybody. That's funny. But the middle linebacker is not going to have a good development trait because he just won't. But I am curious because I enjoy the idea of paying 2 79 overall players. But I mean, I'll be so pissed if he has star better. Here's Eric Goodson, the first one, who I wasn't going to draft. Wasn't going to draft just because of his name. I was going for Tuck. He's got 90 speed. He would have been amazing to get. Would have been amazing. Where's Tuck? 73. He's got normal. So we would have made the wrong decision anyway. Also 90 speed, though. But we'll just draft one next year. Hopefully they don't suck next year. Hopefully they're even better. Defense dropped to an 83. I am confused. Why? We have nothing at middle linebacker. That's why. Okay. That's understandable. That is understandable. I think that Dalvin Tomlinson has to go. Am I going to start Devine at middle linebacker? Now, that could actually be next level if I play him at middle linebacker and then go 3-4 Storm. Ooh, that's exactly what I'm going to do. That's a little crazy, But let's get a little crazy. I mean, I need another linebacker. I can't have Geno Stone, a safety, as my sub linebacker. 5'10", 207. We're going to get killed in the box. We are going to get killed. But otherwise, it's a really good team. We're just missing inside linebacker. And this is so ironic because I complain about that every single year. The Giants never address linebacker. And here I am. I have the Giants, and I'm not addressing linebacker. I'm as surprised as anyone. I had all intentions of addressing the position. I just didn't. I also didn't trade Kevin Zeitler. Haven't traded Dalvin Tomlinson. I keep having ideas, and I just don't do them. Yeah, Dalvin Tomlinson has 1 year left on his deal. And with Zeitler, it is 2 years, but we got Baskin Robinson behind him ready to go. So not even too worried about that. If I could trade both of them for a first-round pick, I'm happy. Or better yet, and this is unlikely, but if I could trade them both for the star dev middle linebacker, that is best case scenario. Who drafted him? I don't remember. I remember the Broncos got the guy that... Oh, he's right there. The Bears got him. He's literally right there. I didn't have to look very far. He's a third-string middle linebacker. They don't have the money. They can't. Hold on. Bobby Massey. Oh, Jesus, his contract's terrible. Oh, we can absolutely do it. What can I trade here? Could trade O'Shane. Not going to. We'll trade a third-round pick, and that goes through. So now we potentially have our middle linebacker of the future in Eric Goodson. And Bobby Massey's getting so cut. Get him off the team. No way, no how. Later, skater. I'm super interested in how Elton Devine, which first of all sounds like a male porn star name. Like, let's just be honest with that. I'm super, super interested to see how he's going to play, especially if I make our scheme 3-4 storm to get him actually rushing the passer. That could be next level. Mid-season mark. We are 5-3. Dude, I saw 1-7. I go, man, that's us. Thankfully, I can't read and didn't look at the names. I just saw the records, which are so far over from the names. I don't know. I get lost. Dexter Lawrence is going to be a free agent. I do want to bring him back. Dalvin Tomlinson's here too. I didn't trade him. Damn, I'm just straight up stupid. Dexter Lawrence, 5 years is good. Let's give him 6. Xavier McKinney is so cheap, and he's back. Andrew Thomas, I think we're going to sign him at exactly the right moment before he starts to get super expensive. We're going to bring him in. 77 overall, only 24 years old. It's an easy move. Darnay Holmes, solid option as a third cornerback for right now. He's back long term. The rest, really not too worried about at the moment. I am, however, I'm not going to bring Dalvin Tomlinson back probably. Maybe, I don't know yet. I am curious to see the development trait of this receiver we drafted. It is star. I mean, you probably knew it was going to be star. I started to say, like, you, and then I'm like, my brain shut off, and then I went with it. Wish I did not go with it. Goodson only has star. Devine only has star. I'm going to cry. We made the playoffs at 10-6 here in 2023. Harold Landry, do I just want to go speed rusher here? I probably would otherwise, but I know they're going to upgrade that long term anyway. I'm just going to do run stopper. Try to get block shedding up a little bit higher. Make him a more complete player. And block shedding and zone coverage go up. That's exactly what I wanted to happen. We have Josh Rosen also now too. Okay. Seahawks in the wild card. Football team went 14-2. We had the #1 offense in the league, though. What about defense? 12th in terms of yards. Trey Lance threw for 4,500 yards, 34 touchdowns, 11 picks. Rushing, Saquon, 1,200 yards, 7 touchdowns. Russ Barr, the rookie out of Rice, 8 TDs. Receiving, Mike Whitfield, over 1,000 yards, 4 touchdowns. Darius Slayton, almost 1,000 yards, 11 touchdowns. Jalen Waddle, almost 900 yards, 3 TDs. And then Evan Ingram, almost 800 yards and 8 touchdowns. Kind of scales down. Defensively, the rookie out of Vandy, Eric Goodson, 106 tackles, 2 for loss, only 2 for loss, and 1.5 sacks. Harold Landry had 12 tackles for loss, as did O'Shane Ximenez. They both put up decent sack numbers, Ximenez with 9, Landry with 8. 7.5 for Leonard Williams, 7.5 for Deron Payne, 3.5 for Elton Devine. I thought it might have been more than that. And a pick, though. 2 for Dex, 1.5 for Eric Goodson. Just noticed I forgot to check interceptions, as Jabril Peppers had 4. 3 for McKinney, 2 for Bradbury, 2 for Grant Bass. I don't know how he keeps playing. I don't know who he is. Josh Allen of the 6-10 Bills wins MVP. Lance at 4. NFC Offensive Player of the Year is Jason Denton. Trey Lance at 3. Defensive Player of the Year, Keanu Neal. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Don Bradley. Russ Barr at 2. Mike Whitfield at 3. No. Defensive Rookie of the Year is Cam Burgess. Vikings are sweeping. Oh, no. We had Eric Goodson at 3 for Defensive Rookie of the Year. Elton Devine at 5. Wild card round against the Seahawks. Can we knock them off? Yes. 35-21. And it's the team that eliminated us last year. And now they're 14-2. Not messing around. Washington football team. They got a great defensive line, but we did steal Deron Payne from them. Even though they chose not to re-sign him and they weren't going to go after him in free agency. We crushed them. 43-26. Got some upgrades before seeing the Vikings and their stud cast of rookies in the conference championship. It's a 20-year rebuild. I'm not jumping in here unless it's a Super Bowl. But we make the Super Bowl, and look at who we're playing. Super Bowl rematch against the New England Patriots. Let me tell you, I'm so cool to see the New England Patriots. So fine to see them. We know what happens. We know how this goes. How do we not get throw accuracy short? Please give that to me. Let's give him Gambler. Darius Slayton, what do I want from him? I like to take these opportunities to upgrade areas that the CPU otherwise wouldn't. So slot it is. I want short route running. Probably won't get it anyway. Oh, he actually does. Sometimes it just doesn't do it. And I would also love to see some dev trait increases for this team. 89 overall. Oh, there we go. Trey Lance goes up to Superstar X Factor. Well, you love to see that. Nothing much on offense other than that. And then defensively, Xavier McKinney up to Superstar. Again, things you love to see. That's awesome. Nothing else, though. But that's good enough. I'll take that. You'll take that. And then to beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl for the 5th championship, or 5th Super Bowl, I should say, in New York Giants history. 3rd over the Patriots. At that point, and it's tied right now, but at that point, the Giants would have beaten the Patriots in the Super Bowl more than any other team in the Super Bowl. I don't mean like any other team who's beaten the Patriots. That actually is not true. But the Giants would have more Super Bowl wins against the Patriots than Super Bowl wins against any other team. Which is just a ridiculously weird stat. But we'll try to walk away with a Super Bowl win here. Let's get it. Trey Lance, Saquon Barkley. I don't think the Patriots are going to be any match. I think we're just going to be too good. They're up early, though, 7-0. We answer, and they strike right back. But so do we. It's 14-14, now 17, 21-17. I can barely keep up with the scoring. 24-17, 31-17 Giants. Patriots make it 31-20. They're still fighting, down by a touchdown. But our defense is holding strong. They have Gardner Minshew. Oh, my goodness. But that is your football game. The New York Giants, once again, have knocked off the New England Patriots. This time, they gave number 12 to Minshew. I'm done. I'm done with the video. I'm done. Oh, my God. Gardner Minshew. They gave Tom Brady's number 12. He's their new guy. It's not what have you done for me ever. It's what have you done for me lately. And Minshew Mania led this team to the Super Bowl. Honestly, a no-brainer. As Harold Landry, with 3 sacks, wins your Super Bowl MVP. I mean, that's a lot of why the Giants won the Super Bowls against the Patriots. That defensive line, at least in 2007, was unbelievable. You look at Justin Tuck, Osi Umenyiora, coming off the edge, flying. Michael Strahan. I mean, they had just such a great front seven. I mean, Kawika Mitchell was on that team. Antonio Pierce. Chase Blackburn had a huge pick. Was that the Super Bowl, though? I think it was. But yeah, I mean, I'm loving to see this team hoist the Lombardi Trophy. Go Giants, man. This one hits different. So the Chase Blackburn interception was 2011. He was on the 2017, though. Matthias Kiwanuka is someone I kind of forgot to mention. But yeah, Antonio Pearson, Kawika Mitchell, and Barry Cofield, Fred Robbins up the middle. Those are names I have not heard in a minute. But the Giants once again have beat the Patriots in the Super Bowl. And we are headed into the offseason with a ton of momentum. Who wouldn't want to play for this team? Dalvin Tomlinson might not have a choice. He's regressing. You're dead to me. We have 36 mil in free agency. Just sound like my chair broke underneath me. Thankfully, I don't think it did. But yeah, I don't really have an interest in signing anybody. Isaiah Simmons. Why do you have to tempt me? I'm going to do it. I'm going to sign Isaiah Simmons. It's my middle linebacker of the future. Watch out. And we got Isaiah Simmons. Great pickup for the squad, obviously. And the fact that we're going to play him at middle linebacker is almost unfair for opposing offenses. What are they going to do when Isaiah Simmons comes running at you, brother? This is a Hulk Hogan speech. I don't know why I was doing that. But yeah, I mean, great addition to this team. Clearly makes more sense to start him at middle linebacker than Elton Devine. I don't know why. I want to call him Leroy. I don't know why. I just do. I'm going to move him to left outside linebacker. He might start over O'Shane Ximines. Thought about it originally. I have O'Shane at right. Yeah. I thought about it originally. I did. O'Shane's actually like pretty good now. So Elton Devine is just going to have to be a good backup. It's a good backup for the time being. But this team is starting to look super cracked. NFL draft time, of course, and the Cardinals are back picking number 1 overall. We are picking at number 32. I'm sure they're going to take a QB. Dean Ziegler. But we do not have to worry about that at all. Sean Diggs. Stefan's brother. Trevon's brother. 4th round. I'm in. Simulating 2, pick 32. What is available? Certainly not going to go running back, although he would be a pretty good pick just for his overall. Do we go offensive line again? Is that the move here? Question I need to ask myself is, do I really even need to? Is there any point? Taylor Hernandez, there's not. Unless he had like star better development, but I think instead of taking the best overall player here, I'm going to take the best player for us, and that is a middle linebacker. Jermaine Hartwell out of Louisville. It'd be good to have another backup in there. And Jermaine Hartwell is my guy. 73 overall. Normal dev, ranked number 22. Took him at 32. 87 speed, 89 tackle. Block shed's low. Coverage is low. But he can chase. He can chase. Into the 2nd round. Sean Diggs still available. No way I'm passing on him. Welcome to the team. 77 overall. Number 3 in the class. Took him at 64. Solid 4th option. Solid 4th option, that's for sure. He is very good. Anytime you take the 3rd player in the class at number 64 in the draft, you're doing something right. Going Chad Burrell here at NC State. 70 overall. Not much of a cover guy. He certainly won't be wearing number 21, as we will simulate to the end of the draft. 2024, 4 years into our 20-year rebuild. And we've got a pretty good team. We've already won the Super Bowl. We're going to start cruising along here in a moment now that the team's pretty much all set up. But it is a very good team. Of course, they're not playing with morale anymore because that Super Bowl high is already worn off, unfortunately. But I will simulate to the mid-season mark. Check in, see how this team's doing. I'd expect them to be playing pretty well. I mean, we have studs all over the field, offense and defense, both amazing. The question will end up being, how many Super Bowls do we win, and will we be able to keep this team together? We're always going to have the core, as we barely lost to football team. First loss of the year, we are 6-1, but we're always going to have the core together. But how many of these players are we actually going to be able to retain long term? Sacrifices will have to be made, business decisions, but Jalen Waddle will not be one of those, I guarantee you. Neither will Trey Lance. Leonard Williams at 30 years old might have to be. It's a 7-year contract for Jalen Waddle, and we're going to keep him with the same QB also for those 7 years. Trey Lance, 7-year contract. Apparently, I don't have the money to offer this. I have to. He wants a higher salary. So, sacrifices will have to be made. We're paying guys too much, clearly. Yeah, Leonard Williams is going to go. So, that's unfortunate. Andrew Thomas, I'm fine with. Isaiah Simmons, we just brought in. O'Shane Ximines is a reasonable contract. This guy. Josh Mayer. He's probably going to have to go. See, it's not even that we're in a bad spot for salary. It's just Trey Lance is so expensive that we really just can't offer him a contract right now. It might have to be a franchise tag. I think that's the only way. I think it's the only way is a franchise tag. Obviously back in the playoffs, but really didn't have a great second half of the year. Went 11-5. Trey Lance, great year. 4,500 yards, 40 touchdowns to 6 picks. Rushing. Saquon, 1,270, averaging over 5 yards per carry, 9 touchdowns. Receiving. Darius Slayton, 1,100 yards, 12 TDs. Waddle, over 1,000 yards, 7 touchdowns. Ingram was great. Mike Whitfield did his job. Defensively, Isaiah Simmons, 107 tackles, 5 for loss, 2 sacks. 9 tackles for loss for Harold Landry, led the way. And Harold Landry also had 9 sacks, but O'Shane Ximenez went double digits. 10.5. 7 for Leonard Williams, 4.5 Deron Payne, 4.5 Eric Goodson. Interceptions, 3 for James Bradbury, 2 for Jabril, Xavier McKinney, and Jair Alexander. And then yearly awards, you got Patrick Mahomes. Trey Lance at 2. No. NFC Offensive Player of the Year is Trey Lance, though. Defensive Player of the Year, Khalil Mack. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jason Groves. Kevin Jaramillo at 5. Sean Diggs at 8. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year is Virgil Craig. It's the Panthers once again in the playoffs. Can we beat them in the wild card? No. 33-27, and it's offseason time. And it looks like the Panthers actually won the Super Bowl. But I don't care about that. I care about bringing Trey Lance back because this was one season. Trey Lance is 24. Like, it's more expensive right now to give him 7 years. Like, we could swing it. But I guess we'll do 6. You're going to test free agency? The hell you are. So that puts us in a tough spot because we can't afford Rashad Weaver, Liam Eichenberg, or Leonard Williams, who is regressing. So, like, you were great for us. Shout out Leonard Williams, but free agency's calling. Go get that bag from a stupid team. However, at negative $9.43 million, probably not in a position to go out and sign anybody because we literally can't. We won't be allowed to. We have no money. The franchise tag sucked. So we're going to have to re-sign Trey Lance midseason as once again, the Cardinals are a #1 overall pick machine. That's what, 4 times now? It's at least 3 times. Man, their playbooks must be ass. They took Dean Ziegler too. These are 3 #1 overall quarterbacks. Like, they might even take another one here. They might have 4 quarterbacks. Thank God there's no quarterback worth taking it at #1. But Sterling Morris seems to be a monster. Do I have to take him? I might have to. And that's a backup plan. Like, obviously, we don't want to lose Trey Lance, but it's worth considering another option. My man's name is Greg Gregory. I think Greg is probably short for Gregory, no? Gregory? I'm going to be sick. Okay, Don Rose looks unreal. Unreal. 4.34 speed, amazing combine, top skills, B+ zone, B- man coverage. I am getting Don Rose. We don't necessarily need a cornerback so bad, but James Bradbury is not going to be around forever. Safeties down the board actually look awesome as well. All mid-first round guys, but all look very, very good. Don Rose at number 20. Well, he's not going to last that long. So if he's available at number 11, I will make my move as the Cardinals take someone to actually help out their team this time around. Who knows? If they had a #1 overall pick every year and actually took a player who wasn't a quarterback every year, maybe they'd actually have a good team. Who knows? Because, and I'm pretty sure about this, only 1 quarterback plays at a time. Okay, so this kind of sucks. We're giving up 2 very good players. Mike Whitfield, who's an 84 overall, and O'Shane Ximenez. Here's the thing. Mike Whitfield is the 3rd best receiver on the team, and honestly, didn't really play a whole ton. And we have Sean Diggs in behind him that's only in his 2nd year, is already up to almost an 80. I think I'd rather have him for the price, for the contract, like length as well, for the age, for everything, except for star dev and +5 overall. But it doesn't really matter. The big one is losing O'Shane Ximenez, starting red outside linebacker. He is 28, though, coming up to the end of his contract, and that's where Elton Devine comes in. He'll be playing red outside linebacker now, so it's not really a big loss. O'Shane was an 81 overall. Elton Devine's an 81 overall. Here's the difference. One was 28, one's 23. We moved up to number 11. We are taking what I believe to be one of the best cornerbacks I've ever seen in the draft. Can't pass him up. 78 overall, number 2 in the class, star better development, Don Rose, the Don. 95 speed, 73 man, 78 zone, nice tackling. What can't this guy do? He can even shed blocks at a pretty decent rate. Don Rose looks unbelievable. At number 22 now, this guy, like, I'm close on him. He's a borderline good player, but I don't know if he's really the best fit for us. So I'm probably not going to take him. This quarterback is really worth considering. I almost have to. But he probably wouldn't go until the 3rd round just based on how draft classes work. So I'm going to take a safety here. Zaire Banks out of Bama looks slightly better than Trayvon Session. I think it's safe to say. So I'm going to take Zaire Banks. Now, it's a safety. You're like, why would you take a safety here? Could also play linebacker with his skills. I think he's a really good player. 74 overall. Only normal development. Looks exactly like Don Rose, number 13 in the class. Took him at 22. 90 speed, 77 zone, 81 hit power. Decent tackling. Block shed's pretty low, but is a solid special teams player. And that quarterback should be available at number 22 in the 2nd round. He might not be, but he should be. And he's gone. We don't need a quarterback. So it was a vanity pick. He would have been nice to get, though. DeAndre Ingram, we need to replace Liam Eichenberg, and I think we've done that here. Obviously not better, minus 10 overall, but is 7 years younger. So we have something to work with. DeAndre Ingram should play right tackle. We're going to take Greg Gregory as well. 71 overall, last ranked player in the 1st round, number 32. Took him at 86. And he actually doesn't look too bad. I think he might eventually end up replacing... Do I want to say Dexter Lawrence? I don't know. It depends how well he develops. He's not amazing. Like, Leonard Williams is a pretty huge loss for us, but it, of course, had to happen. 89 overall still, 91 offense, 87 defense. Trey Lance is a ridiculously high overall already. His short accuracy is just so poor. Please boost short accuracy. Please. By 1. He also gets +1 speed to 84, but he does get short accuracy, so I'll take that. Darius Slayton's up to Superstar X Factor as well. Oh my goodness. Defensively, Harold Landry, Superstar X Factor. Has he been? No, he got increased to that. James Bradbury is regressing, unfortunately. He is 32, and that's why we made the move to take Don Rose. And our starting right end really isn't even too bad. Josh Mayer, 78 overall. Fits the scheme as well. Hopefully he does a good job out there for us. If he can get up to star dev, I'd be super thrilled. He's wearing BJ Goodson's prestigious 93. Do I want Stephon Diggs or Jamie Lynn Spears to play in the slot? I think I would rather just play Jalen Waddle there. Mid-season mark, we are 6-1. Washington football team is 0-7. Trey Lance, of course. We need to bring him back. But it's not going to be cheap. He wants a 7-year deal now. I tried to give this to you last season. And he wants more money? Trey, I'm giving you all I have. Okay, I mean, we need B.J. Robbins back. Grant Bass can leave. We can't even afford it because of the Trey Lance offer. Marquise Thibodeau, we can't afford anyone. We have Derek Carr. Trey Lance is crippling me financially. Because we're clearly paying him so much this year, I cannot franchise tag him again. And I'm not even sure I can offer him more money. I don't know what to do. 7-1. Washington football team stays undefeated. We're not getting any, or winless, I should say. Can we offer you this? Is this more reasonable? Wants to make a lot more money. I don't have it. I don't have the money. 8-1. I don't know how I'm going to extend him. He wants like a max contract. And I don't think I can offer him it. We don't have the money to offer him what he wants, or even close. There's no way. He's gonna be like, I'm going to test free agency. And I'm like, I'm franchise tagging you again. We just don't have the cap room. You're going to test free agency? You won't. That's the thing. You're not going to. BJ Robbins wants more money. Dude, just tell me what you guys want. I can't just be guessing. I'm getting mad. BJ Robbins is back. Finally, someone that wants to be here. The rest have to walk. Jordan Love is not on the team. Trey Lance is getting franchise tag for sure. We are 9-1. Trey Lance is a big reason. We really cannot lose him. First round bye, obviously, not a surprise. Went 13-3. Best offense, Trey Lance won an MVP. There's no way he didn't with those numbers. That's ridiculous. Best defense as well. Lance, 4,500 yards again. 44 touchdowns, 12 picks. Rushing, Saquon over 1,300 yards and 7 touchdowns. Receiving, Jalen Waddle over 1,200 yards, 10 touchdowns. Slayton, 1,100, 9 TDs. Ingram, over 810 touchdowns. Sean Diggs, 700 yards and 8 TDs. These are wild numbers. Oh my goodness, the defense, same story. Isaiah Simmons, 109 tackles, 9 for loss, 4 sacks, 5 picks. If that isn't Defensive Player of the Year, I don't know what is. Elton Devine had 13.5 sacks, 13 from Harold Landry, 6.5 Dex Lawrence, 4 for Deron Payne, 4 for Isaiah Simmons, 3.5 Eric Goodson. Josh Mayer had 3. Isaiah Simmons, 5 picks. Eric Goodson with 4. Our linebackers combined for 9 picks. 10 if you include Elton Devine. Unreal. This defense and offense is amazing, and Josh Allen steals Trey Lance's MVP. There's a QB we didn't take, but I don't want him. I want Trey Lance. He wins Offensive Player of the Year again. Defensive Player of the Year is Isaiah Simmons. Elton Devine at 5. Eric Goodson at 6. Surprised Harold Landry didn't get votes. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Brian Evans. Defensive Rookie of the Year, DeAndre Leach. Don Rose at 4. Best QB, Trey Lance. I mean, this team was crazy. Crazy, crazy, crazy. Who are we going to be playing in the divisional, though? The Vikings. Let's just steamroll them. Get them off of here. Get them out of here. Get out of my face. Josh Mayer up to an 80. Conference championship against the Seahawks. Pretty good team. The Seahawks are a solid team. Not solid enough. Giants, Bengals. Ha ha ha. My real favorite team. We'll pop in here for another one. They're an 87 overall. Let me see some dev trait increases first. Because we had to have had somebody go up. Although I can't imagine who, because Trey Lance already is at Superstar X Factor. I mean, we have Superstar X Factor basically across the offense. At wide receiver, running back, quarterback, receiver. Defensively, Isaiah Simmons goes up to Superstar X Factor. I hope he would after winning Defensive Player of the Year. Rose only had star? That's actually a shock. I would have thought it was way higher. Like, Superstar minimum. Elton Devine does go up to Superstar. Certainly the right move to get rid of O'Shea and Zimenez. Damn, this team is so sick. Really is. Close game so far. 17-14 Giants. And we couldn't get into the end zone there. I think that's our end zone. No, I was wrong. That was the Bengals trying to score. They took the lead, though, but we retake it right back. And we retake it again. 31-24. Oh, my God. They tied it up at 31. 24 seconds to play. All right, let's make a play. Jalen Waddle down the field. We got Sean Diggs returning. Actually going to be a somewhat decent return here. Oh, it's a good spin move. It's a great one. He takes it to the 36. Oh, Waddle burned. Waddle burned so easy. Jalen Waddle down to the 10. Rolling out with Lance. They didn't contain. They're trying to. We're juking back. He breaks a tackle. Trey Lance down to the 1. Why aren't you kicking a field goal? Because that's boring. I'll punt, but I won't kick a field goal. Jump over the line, Trey. Lance! Touchdown! The Giants are going to be Super Bowl champions again. That's also got to be a flag and an ejection. There's 4 seconds left. I guess it doesn't matter. Joe Burrow faces devastation. I love to see it. And there they are once again. Trey Lance, Darius Slayton, Saquon Barkley, and Isaiah Simmons. Hoist Lombardi. Can we get Jalen Waddle up there? This is an injustice. But the Giants are once again Super Bowl champions. That's 2 now. As this team is starting to get into a rhythm. We cannot lose Trey Lance. No way, no how. Okay, offseason. Trey Lance is getting franchise tag. Bance is no one here. That's just a combination of his first and last name, but also almost Trey Lance's name. Everyone has to go except for Trey Lance. I have to franchise tag him and hopefully work out something in the near future. Like, don't leave, please. You're the entire offense. That's not true. I think any other quarterback could come in, but he's going to be way better still. So it's important to have him if we want to keep winning Super Bowls, and I do. He's a 99 overall at 25 years old. He went from star dev to superstar X Factor. He is not even close to regression. Not even close. I can't let him go. I'm getting, like, amped up about it, but we can't let him go. It just can't happen. Ooh, Goodson, he had star. James Bradbury, 33 years old. Believe he's going into the final year of his deal. He is. We're going to salute him off. Thanks for playing. Okay, headed into the draft for 2026 now. What do we need? Could be offensive line. The overalls are juice right now, but that's actually not what they will be. And then defensively, Jabril Peppers is only an 82. He's 30. Oh, no. Well, we have Banks in behind him, but we could draft a safety. We have a corner of the future in behind James Bradbury after this year. So I don't know. Of course, picking a number 32 overall. Washington football team in a very different spot, but they could get their QB of the future maybe in David Brown. They actually go with a safety at number 1. That's how you build a winning culture. It's straight safeties. What is happening? What a weird start to this draft. I might end up trading up. Pretty good corner going there. Another pretty good corner going. I didn't think this draft class looked to be anything crazy, and I still believe that. But I might be moving up here for Dexter Ball. There he goes. Okay, cool. I mean, my entire draft board's gone. I just have D tackles watched because they seem to be pretty good. But, like, there's nothing here. I'm trading down. I don't have money right now. As you can see, we are super negative in the cap. But it is literally all on Trey Lance. I mean, everything is invested in him. And obviously we can't get that Cardinals pick. I need to... who's going to be a bad team? Probably the Dolphins, but not that bad. 2026 round 1, boom. Trading a 1 and a 2 this year for a 1 next year from the Dolphins. Hopefully they suck. I'll see you for round 3. I might only take 1 pick this draft that you guys see. It just really isn't that great of a class for me. Take Demarius Harvey here. 73 overall, star, better development. 74 power moves? Okay, he's really slow. Really slow, but not a bad backup D tackle at all. It's going to do it for the draft, though. Please let this be the year that we can actually sign Trey Lance to a long-term contract. Amen. They're frustrating me. They really are. And when I say they, I mean Trey Lance and anyone associated with him, which I guess is technically me because I run the team. Pretty good team, obviously. I think Waddle goes back in the slot and we just wreak havoc. And this time, as receiver 1, he should hoist the Lombardi. No, you know what? We're going to have Sean Diggs play there and see if we can get his development trade up. I'll see you at the midseason mark. Trey Lance, please. I can't franchise tag you again, man. It's $40 million. I can't do it. Please. Damn, we just lost in week 8. We're 5-2. Second in the division. Football team right on our tail. At also 5-2. And here's Jair, Harold Landry. Everybody. All right. Well, we'll at least have money to bring in Trey Lance. It's such a big deal. And he's finally back. Jair, we need, but we're running out of money quickly. 4-year deal from him, or for him, and he's back. Harold Landry. I would probably give a 4-year deal to him as well. Why does he have shutdown? No. I'm going to give him... Let's see. Let's get unstoppable force going. An edge threat. Man, Elton Devine wants a lot more money. Can we afford that? Eric Goodson we can afford pretty easily, as he's a middle linebacker. Middle linebackers is just cheap in general, so he's back. A lot of these backups are leaving. We did get Harold Landry back. These are older players in here, Jair and Harold Landry, but they're superstar X Factors. They should be pretty good. And then Deron Payne, I'm not sure we can afford him. Probably can't. Probably going to have to let him go. Wyatt Teller, don't really think we can afford that either. It's get Elton Devine back first and foremost, and then worry about the rest. First round bye, 12-4. First offense, Trey Lance touchdowns went way down, still led the league. First defense, man, the Giants playbooks are OP. He threw 16 picks. Damn, he got that contract extension and said, hey, I don't care anymore. Come on, Trey. I'll give him the scrambler upgrade. Give me short throw accuracy, please. But also +1 speed again. Dude's gonna have like 99 speed by the end of this. Saquon, money year. 1,500 yards, 14 rushing touchdowns. Russ Barr, balling out. Good for him. Receiving, Jalen Waddle, only 900 yards, 5 TDs. He wasn't in the slot, though. That was Sean Diggs, who only had 898 yards, 6 TDs. Darius Slayton, almost 900 yards, 13 touchdowns, though. They all had very similar numbers, except for boom, Darius Slayton had more touchdowns than Jalen Waddle and Sean Diggs combined. Defensively, Simmons, 101 tackles, 5 for loss, 2.5 sacks, and a pick. Tackles for loss, 14 from Harold Landry. He had 10.5 sacks, 9.5 for Elton Devine, 7.5 Josh Mayer, 5.5 Deron Payne, 4.5 Dexter Lawrence. Yeah, I mean, we were creating a lot of pressure. Not a ton of interceptions, though. But our defense was just so good as Patrick Mahomes wins MVP. Trey Lance is honestly getting robbed as Daniel Jones is in there for the Lions. NFC Offensive Player of the Year, Zach Wilson. No. Trey Lance at 2, Saquon at 4. Defensive Player of the Year, Fred Warner. Harold Landry at 5. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Lonnie Molden. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Ben Dickens. More like bend over. We had a divisional round matchup against whom? The Vikings. We've crushed them every time in the playoffs. This is probably the year that changes. Nope. 31-23. Beat them again. Conference championship against the Saints. Are we going to be in the Super Bowl again? Sure are. And this time, it's against the Chiefs. Patrick Mahomes. Trey Lance can get his revenge on Mahomes for winning MVP every year over him for some reason. We are down 17-7. We gonna need a good comeback here. Sometimes I just screw up talking. I'm going to put on a southern accent because I don't know why. 17-12. 18-17, we take the lead, but the Chiefs take it right back, and then we take it right back. It's 21-20, and that's the game. The Giants win a thriller, 21-20 over the Chiefs. Third Super Bowl of this 20-year rebuild, going a lot differently than the Jets one did. We are crushing. We're not even 10 years in, have won 3 Super Bowls. Trey Lance was your Super Bowl MVP. 306 yards, but only 1 touchdown. And we're actually in our blue uniforms this time, and Jalen Waddle's up there instead of Darius Slayton. Trey Lance, Isaiah Simmons, Saquon, but this time, Jalen Waddle gets to be a part of it. There we go. Once again, the Giants are Super Bowl champions. Trey Lance, he may not have the MVPs, but he's balling out. Right now, without the MVPs, he's like having a Troy Aikman career, but he's been way better than that. Put some respect on Trey Lance's name. 95 offense, 92 defense. The question is, how much money do we actually have to re-sign some of these guys now? James Bradbury's been great, but he's got to go. He's got to go. We need Elton Devine. He's crushing it. And to think that he started out as a middle linebacker. Crazy stuff. And he is back long term. Evan Ingram's going to go. Russ Barr has been a solid backup running back, but we're not paying him that. Josh Mayer. Josh Mayer really isn't too expensive for what he brings to the table. I think I would like to have him back. 5-year deal for him. And he's back. Okay. So now, can we afford to bring back Wyatt Teller? Definitely not. I mean, we could franchise tag him. We could do that and just try to replace Deron Payne. It's certainly not worth paying a guard 15 mil, especially if he's 32. I think we're going to let both of these guys go. They've been great. Helped us win a couple Super Bowls, but We just got to move on. It's 2027 is what it's going to be. So, okay, that would have been bad. Almost knocked over just everything. I'm offering Brandon Scherf essentially league minimum to maybe win a Super Bowl. So, it might be worth considering. He's 35. He can't be playing for money at this point. I'm also going to try and get James Bradbury back on the same just awful contract. We don't even have a kicker. Colin Thompson it is. So if James Bradbury wants to win a Super Bowl, he'll come back. If Brandon Scherf wants to win a Super Bowl, he'll join us. And he doesn't. Well, there's your answer. He doesn't care about winning. James Bradbury, on the other hand, also doesn't care. He's like, I've won enough. All right, fair enough. Picking at number 29, I'm not afraid to move up for the right player. We have a number of big holes. Okay, we're going to simulate to pick number 29. Not really in a position to move up, but we also pick at number 32. And who is available? Defensive tackle. There's a free safety in there. But this is the player I'm most excited about. Terrence Wilson, 22 years old out of USF, 4.46 speed, early first round middle linebacker. Amazing player. Ranked number 7 in the class. Took him at 29. Star better development, 90 speed, 84 tackle, 87 hit power. Coverage is great. Terrence Wilson is unreal. And just the player I think we needed. Now, you look at our defense and you say middle linebacker probably wasn't the biggest need. But when you take a closer look and you say, could we move to a 4-3? It's certainly an option. Certainly an option. I'm going to take Braxton Roten here. Going for my safety of the future. I'm not sure if he's it, but he's going to be decent. 76 overall, number 5 in the class. Took him at 32. Only normal development holds him back a lot. But with 90 speed, 84 hit power, 74 zone coverage, there is a lot to like. There's a lot to work with. He's just probably not going to start right away because he's not going to play over Jabril Peppers. Maybe next season. I mean, Cedric Murray's here. We need a backup running back. He's an early first-round talent, and he's worth taking. Number 8. Took him at 64. Star or better development. He's going to be a really good backup to Saquon Barkley. Man, we've gotten really lucky with running backs down the board, and I think we're going to have a really good pick here at the end of round 3. Maybe not like really good, but certainly excellent value in the way of a cornerback. I'm losing it a bit, but Blair Griffin might be able to be a starting tight end. Yeah, I need something to drink after that. I mean, I've been talking for a while. My voice has been a real trooper, sticking around, doing its best for me. But yeah, maybe I will take a tight end. We need one. Blair Griffin it is, 71 overall, number 40 in the class, took him at 96. Only normal development, but could have been a lot worse. At the end of round 4, I'm taking a corner if he stays available. It's not David Allen, and he's actually gone. Name was like something Nails. Cool name. I bet he did, but it's actually going to be the draft. CPU took that middle linebacker. We don't need him. We don't need him at all. But they decided to go with him. And I changed to a 4-3 to fit Terrence Wilson in. He just looks like one of those players that's too good to not play. So I'm taking a chance, and I went 4-3 under. And I hope he has a great season. I mean, I think it made the most sense based on our personnel to switch to a 4-3, but at the same time, our defense has been number 1 ranked for like the last few seasons, and we are mixing it up here. We're taking a gamble, and the reality is it might not be a gamble that pays off. Who is this? Bullet? Tyrone Bullet. Sick name. He is a developmental player, I think it's safe to say. But this is a squad. Pretty good team. Darnay Holmes is in regression mode, as he is 29. That sucks. But he's also won 3 Super Bowls. Xavier McKinney is crushing it. He's 29 as well. But he has another year before he starts to regress. And this team looks like it's pretty good. I mean, Wilson up to a 78 overall at right outside linebacker. I love. But we'll have to see how well he plays. 5-3 at the midseason mark. I'm worried that our defense is just not hanging as the offense is. 21st. Yeah, I mean, it was a gamble to go 4-3. It's just our personnel matched up way better, I thought. So, Wilson only has star. No. No. Do we want to bring back Sean Diggs? I mean, I'd like to. He's a good player. Great option as a third receiver. I think we'll just actually barely have the money. Jermaine Hartwell's got to go. Jabril Peppers can't be re-signed just because we're watching him regress. Will Hernandez probably isn't worth it. So I guess, yeah, Sean Diggs is the logical choice as the only free agent we'll bring back. But he wants more money. First round bye. We finished 12-4. Third best offense. Also, I should mention, I did go back to 3-4 Storm, and our defense became better because of it, as Trey Lance went for over 4,000 yards, 41 touchdowns, 6 picks, unreal year. Saquon, 1,400 yards, 11 touchdowns, averaging almost 6 yards per carry. Receiving, Jalen Waddle. No one's getting 1,000 yards. It's kind of wild. He's close, 8 TDs. Sean Diggs close, 10 touchdowns. Darius Slayton close, 100 yards off, 11 touchdowns. Could use a better tight end. And then defensively, Isaiah Simmons, 104 tackles, 6 for loss, 3.5 sacks. Numbers could be kind of weird, as Harold Landry, who I left at left end, had 18 sacks, 7 for Big Dex, 14 for Elton Devine, 8 for Josh Mayer. Man, what a year from our defense again. Jair, 3 picks, 2 for Goodson, 2 for Jabril. Yearly awards. Drew Lockwood's MVP is Trey Lance is, oh my goodness, finishing second again. Russell Wilson's on the Niners. Baker's on the Titans. NFC Offense Player of the Year is Trey Lance. Saquon in there? Yep, number 10. Defense Player of the Year, RJ Pryor. Harold Landry, with 18 sacks, finishes at number 2. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Cedric Murray, our backup running back. And then Terrence Wilson is our Defensive Rookie of the Year. Okay. We sweeped a lot of those NFC awards. And we're into the divisional round of the playoffs, looking at potentially another Super Bowl win. Football team stands in our way, as it will in the conference championship if we make it, and we do. Vikings are in the conference championship, and we crush them every time. I'm not even worried about it. Super Bowl, here we are, and it's Drew Lock and the Broncos. So once again, the MVP and the MVP runner-up are in the Super Bowl. Last time, went to the runner-up. And we're going into Dallas, Arlington more specifically. And we're going to try and repeat here. Trey Lance beat Drew Lock. Close game so far. It's 10-10, but we take a 13-10 lead. More like 20-10 here in the third quarter. 23-10, we're running away with it. But the Broncos touchdown makes it a little bit closer. But our offense just keeps scoring, and they can't stop us. They can't keep up. They lose. The Giants, for the 4th time, just in this video, are Super Bowl champions. So the record for Super Bowls ever won by a franchise has been shattered. The Giants are now up to 8. Back in the white uniforms and back to our winning ways. Trey Lance wins MVP with under 300 yards by a yard. No touchdowns. Very odd. And Darius Slayton is back up there. I feel like we haven't even talked about Jalen Waddle all that much. But yeah, once again, Super Bowl champions. See, I know I want them to change the Super Bowl celebration just like a little bit. I know it doesn't matter too much, but it'd be nice to shake it up a little bit. But there should also be new ones. Just even if slightly, even if it means a different player hoists up the Lombardi at the end. Or if there's a random chance that a different cutscene plays. But based on maybe something random or the amount that you win, maybe in your second Super Bowl, Isaiah Simmons hoisted up, the middle linebacker. Maybe you just get your highest overall players up there instead of just middle linebacker, QB, wide receiver 1, running back. All right, who's here? We need a Sean, what's his name? Sean Diggs. I mean, I think almost certainly. He's just too good to not get. Only 25 years old. The rest, it's been lovely having you here. But that time has come to an end. Just about $8 million to spend on free agents. Wyatt Davis is here. But I need someone that's not getting offers. Tyreek Hill will be cool, as Darius Slayton is regressing. Who else is not getting offers? Russell Wilson. I think we're fine on that. Tyrell Waters. I mean, he's a tight end that's going to continue to develop. Only normal dev, but I mean, I think it's definitely worth offering him. Theo Perkins has superstar, but is 28, so I'd rather have the 25-year-old. And we got Waters. Here's the biggest problem at the moment, though. We do not have guards. Who is Malone? He's a right tackle. 66 overall. I mean, he's only 24, but no, I mean, we should get some guards. We should. Hey, Goodson. Eric Goodson up to superstar. Played him at outside linebacker in the 3-4, and I guess he was really good. When did he get superstar? Did he have it? I think I would have noticed. That's so weird. I could have sworn he didn't have it. I don't know. Once again, picking at number 32. Jamie Rose looks like a beast. Percy Jackson. Yo. Those books by Rick Riordan were sick. Shout out Percy Jackson and the Lightning Thief. Started it all. Back when I was younger, man. And I read, why'd I say that weird? Back when I actually read books. Man, thank God that time's over. But, I mean, it was a good time while it lasted. End of the first round here. Is there anyone on my draft board? Could take a receiver. Really good receiver, too. I think that'd be a poor decision. But there's also nobody here on my draft board. So we're going to take him. Steven Pittman out of Oregon. 4.31 speed, 74 overall, number 9 in the class. Took him at 32. Normal dev. Looks really, really good, though, for the most part. If medium route running was higher, I mean, he'd be amazing. Take him in a linebacker here. George Sims. It was just a weird case of taking best player available, even though we need guards, like, badly. But he is a 71 overall with star or better development. Can't complain about that. We'll have the CPU handle the rest. I'm telling you, man, that was like a really bad draft class. One of the worst I've probably ever seen. I was going to simulate the whole season. Like, I should probably re-sign people. So I stopped it at week 15. We are 10-3 at this moment. And Darius Slayton is going to be a free agent. He's a 98 overall. But he's also 31. And while he is very, very good, is he as important as some of these other players? I honestly don't think so. So I think DeAndre Ingram is going to be more important to bring back our starting right tackle. Zaire Banks, I don't really care about. He is good, though. He's just... Nah, we should bring him back. Normal dev is just ugly, but he needs to come back. As does Don Rose, for sure. He's only 24 years old. Star dev, but he's an 87 overall. DeAndre Ingram is back. I think Zaire Banks is my starting strong safety. Am I correct in saying that? I'm pretty sure I am. Yeah, he is. So... he's just someone that needs to come back. Also, look at Elton Devine. Never would have expected that this guy became a monster or would become. He's got 95 finesse moves, 80 zone coverage, dude. I mean, he's ridiculous. Zaire Banks is back as well. I mean, I just don't think that Darius Slayton is worth 15 mil. Great player, don't get me wrong. I should break out the Darius Slayton signed jersey that I got in the... mystery box unboxing, but I don't think we can afford him. I don't. Not with other big players coming up. Not with this developing receiver we have on the roster. So this is definitely his final year in New York, at least for the Giants.
Actually, they play in East Rutherford, New Jersey, so they're the New Jersey.
Yeah, I'm aware. I don't know why I'm like impersonating the comment section all the time. I find it funny. I don't know why. We went 11-5, though. The Cardinals finally made the playoffs. We had the best offense in the league. Trey Lance, better of one MVP, dude. His numbers are insane. Our defense dropped off a bit, but Lance was unreal. 4,300 yards, 46 touchdowns, only 5 picks. Rushing. Saquon, maybe the best year of his entire career. Going over 1,400 yards, 8 touchdowns. Just from a pure, like, cumulative stat year, unreal. Had better yards per carry in 2027, though. And he's been in the league for 10 years. Saquon's not a spring chicken anymore. He's 31. Still playing really well. Receiving, Jalen Waddle over 1,200 yards, 16 TDs. I bet you can guess who played in the slot this year. He's almost 99 everything. Darius Slayton, good year. Tyrell Waters, pretty good year. But Sean Diggs is going to take over. He's going to take over. It's better to have him than Darius Slayton at this point. He just can't run routes, unfortunately. And then defensively, Isaiah Simmons, 113 tackles. 13 of those 113 were for loss. 4 sacks and a pick. Very good numbers. for sacks, 16 for Harold Landry, 14.5 for Elton Devine, 8 for Josh Mayer, 5 for Dex, 4 for Simmons and Goodson. Terrence Wilson even had 3.5 and 92 tackles. Interceptions, the X-Man with 3, 2 for Braxton Roten, who played slot corner, and then 2 for Don Rose. Yearly awards, Trey Lance finally wins MVP. Also, Offensive Player of the Year. Defensive Player of the Year is Kwity Paye. Any Giants? Isaiah Simmons at 8. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Jamie Rose. Dude, no Harold Landry in there? Defensive Rookie of the Year is Andrew Holloway. I skip Offensive Rookie of the Year? No, not really any Giants of note there. Trey Lance is kind of becoming one of the best quarterbacks ever. He's got 13 yearly awards. He just doesn't have the MVPs yet, but has won 4 Super Bowls. So, I mean, he's had a pretty good career. Let's beat the Cardinals in the wild card. I mean, I'm so shocked to see a loss there. I was going to say, like, I'd be shocked to see a loss, and there we go. We lose. We hadn't seen a playoff loss in a minute. Bengals, Rams, Super Bowl. And, yeah, Slayton's down to a 95. Again, like, it'd be nice to have him, but we can't. Reed Holloway. Can't really afford these guys. Just got to let them go. $4.5 million in available cap room. I'm just going to go ahead and go to the draft. We have a higher pick than usual. Might end up trading up. Picking at number 24. Just kind of depends on what the draft board looks like. Our team's obviously very good still. We've been chilling at like a 93 overall, 91 to 93, depending on how morale boosts certain players. And Ingram's playing both left tackle, left guard, and right guard. Very versatile. Oh, man. Xavier McKinney went up to Superstar X Factor. We'll give him Zone Hawk. What a beast. What a beast. I think our defense is fine to stay as it is. We just need offensive line help so bad. And here's Banks Roten. Why do I think it was Banks? His name is Braxton, actually. He could start at strong safety. I mean, Zaire Banks is more suited to safety. I think that Roden is going to move to cornerback and play slot corner for me. He actually played a lot last year. Played a lot. Why? We'll just simulate to 24. There goes a sick receiver just in front of me. Nick Brooks, late first rounder. I don't want to take a late first round tackle. I want you to be higher rated. Baller running back. I might be forced into taking the tackle, though, just because we really do need offensive line help super badly. Late first round from Tracy Brinkley, but maybe we end up getting both of them. All right, we'll take Nick Brooks here. Just need help on the offensive line. He's, like, not very good. 72 overall, but he is better than what we have, I think. Because right now we have actually nobody. Trading a 2, a 3, and a 4 for a 22-year-old right guard from the Seahawks. And that's going to be the end of the draft for me, pretty much. Just a big draft day trade, and that's it. No way. He has superstar development. I'm like, I wonder why it was so hard to trade for him. Okay, yeah, that's a really, really, really big addition to the team. Superstar dev, 22-year-old right guard. I'm in. That's actually so lucky because, I mean, obviously I couldn't see that when I was looking at him. Just saw 76 overall, 22. I'm like, okay, sure. Well, superstar dev offensive linemen are super, super rare. So that is a great, great, great pickup. They actually drafted a 65 overall corner, Calvin Cadet. Can't cover it all, but is good in other areas. Harold Landry is still good, but he is 33. He's regressing pretty hard. So we're going to need to replace him very, very shortly. I mean, Elton Devine can play that role, but we need an edge rusher. Other than that, 6-1 at the midseason mark, winning the NFC East comfortably. As Saquon Barkley will be a free agent. Dexter Lawrence, Isaiah Simmons, Xavier McKinney. I mean, a lot of big, influential players for this Giants team over the years. Saquon, I want him back. 2 years is fine. I mean, he's way too expensive. He's way too expensive. I'll do 3 years. Just so we don't have to worry about running back for right now. Dexter Lawrence, he's just way too expensive. Isaiah Simmons, maybe. The thing with him is we don't necessarily need him anymore. Still a really good player, but is he worth paying this money to? Yeah, probably. He wants more money, though. Xavier McKinney I want back. Probably 2 years. You know, I can do 3. I can do 3 for him. Demarius Harvey's got to go. Steve Spencer. If he was 24, I'd probably do this. I know that's only 2 years, but he's only an 80. Like, we got to think about his overall ceiling, and I don't think it's over an 85 overall. So I'm going to pass. Simmons is back for 2 years. I changed it. And Dexter Lawrence, I might just be able to franchise tag him. So we're going to simulate to the playoffs. I would guarantee this is a playoff team. We started out 7-1. We're just crushing it. Giants playbooks are really good. Because all we needed to do was build the team, and then they actually won games. 12-4. Best offense in the league. Trey Lance probably not going to win MVP, but very good numbers. Saquon Barkley was still very good. But Cedric Murray wants a job. He wants the starting job. He's up to an 85 overall as the backup. He's going to have to wait a little bit longer, but is up to 90 speed. Oh, man, he's threatening Saquon. He is. Because he's only been in the league a couple years. This is 3rd year. He's only 24. I mean, it's something to consider as Jalen Waddle goes over 1,000 and 10 TDs. 1,100 to be exact. Over 1,000 for Steve Spencer. 11 touchdowns for him. I'm still not going to bring him back. Sean Diggs, I mean, was pretty good. Is this Steve Spencer was in the slot, I think, so that's why those numbers exist. And then defensively, Simmons still crushing it, playing really well. Harold Landry had 14 tackles for loss and 14 sacks. 13.5 for Elton Devine, 4.5 for Josh Mayer, 4 Eric Goodson. Terrence Wilson had 3.5. Interceptions, 2 for Jair Braxton Roten and Don Rose. And then yearly awards, Lamar Jackson wins MVP. Trey Lance at 5. Offense Player of the Year, Russell Wilson. Trey Lance at 2. Defense Player of the Year, Roquan Smith. Elton Devine at 9. Didn't really have any rookies, so not really going to show it. As we advance to the divisional, it's the Panthers again. We've seen them so many times, and they lose this time. Again, Vikings now in the conference championship. 1 game away from yet another Super Bowl appearance, and we are back. It's a rematch of the Super Bowl in 2000. They have Juju Smith-Schuster, stole him from their division rival, Pittsburgh Steelers. The Giants lost this one. Kerry Collins had maybe the worst game of any QB in the Super Bowl ever. And we'll look to enact our revenge about 30 years later. Get them hyped up, Isaiah. 24-10. Ravens trying to make a comeback, though. It's 27-20 now, 30-20, but the Ravens keep fighting. We are on offense, though, with 1:49 to play. First down ends the game. Just forced a turnover. And there's Saquon. Oh, look at the spin move. I think he's just short, though. He's rushed for over 220 yards. 3rd and 1. Safeties are coming up. Can we put Jalen Waddle on a crosser here? We can't. So let's just reset to a stretch and hope the safety's blocked off the edge. Up the middle. Saquon still going. That's the game. As he rushes for over 230 yards. I'll give him another carry. It's fun to watch Saquon. If we didn't run the ball with Saquon Barkley even once this rebuild, was it even a Giants video? I tried to cut it back there. I wanted way more yardage. But that is the game. The Giants are once again Super Bowl champions. Saquon's got to be your player of the game, your Super Bowl MVP, you'd figure, with over 230 yards rushing, almost 240. He had a couple more runs at the end of the game. But yeah, this Giants team is officially a dynasty if they weren't already. Their 5th Super Bowl of the video, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, Saquon is your Super Bowl MVP. 237 yards and 2 touchdowns. Broke off a 98-yard run. Saquon still got it in his 30s. There you go. Jalen Waddle back up there. Lance, Simmons, Barkley. Might be the final time that this team hoisted Lombardi together. Saquon's getting older. Simmons getting older. This might be the final time we see that. Dexter Lawrence is in here. Do we just franchise tag him? Yeah, see, Steve Spencer is 27 now. Nah, we're going to let him go. We're going to let him go. Could go into the negative cap, but not going to do it. Going to save some of that money for the future. We are in 2029 now. going to the 2030 NFL draft. The team dips below a 90 overall for the first time in a minute. And that's because Saquon is down to a 91. He is going way down. Regressed heavily after Super Bowl MVP. Looks like Murray's just about ready to take over for him with that star dev. He'll be getting a long-term contract, I can pretty much assure you. Diggs, only normal dev, but he's into the 90s. How old are you? 27? Short route running never really came along, did it? But the team's pretty good, man. Offensive line set. Offense is pretty good. Could use a receiver. And then defensively, still holding on to some of these guys, man. Still holding on. Need a D tackle. But overall, I mean, like, look at Devine. Elton Devine is up to a 99. He's a beast. He's only 28 still. He's been around forever, but he's been so good for us. As we might do some trading around here. Picking at 32 again. But might have to move up. Is it for Tyler Shakowski? Maybe. Once again, I'm not moving up. Just going to take the pick flat out at 32. And then probably take a break because my voice, it's going out on me. It was a warrior. Hey, put in a good shift. But it's about time to call it, at least on this recording. Hatcher's great, 4.29 speed. Is he worth taking there? Could upgrade the O-line. It's always tempting. You know what? You can't teach 4.29 speed. I'm taking him. 73 overall, number 19 in the class. Took him at 32. Only normal development, but 95 speed. Not a route runner at all, but he is fast. Round 2. Do I go corner? Do I go safety? Let's go cornerback. Let's go JT Stevens. Ooh, star better development. Number 21 in the class. Took him at 64. Can't cover. We've seen this guy before. Can't cover. I mean, those guys run wild in the draft, actually. All right, I'm going to take Leonard Allen out of Georgia. 72 overall, normal dev. Number 26. Took him at 96. And I think that's a good as any spot for me to take a break for the evening. Yeah, I mean, like, these take forever to record. I'm 3 hours and 46 minutes into this recording, man. It's a grind out here. Okay, day 2 of this. As this is the team. We're ready for the 2030 NFL season. And usually at this point, I would probably end up simulating about 5 to 7 years in the future and let some guys develop. But I think we'll do maybe 1 or 2 more years before doing that and then simulate to about 2037, 2038 maybe. But we'll see how this team performs. I mean, we could use some Coach XP here. There just really isn't much to spend it on at this point. Like, I could do Master Trade Negotiator. I could do Free Agency Influence. But I haven't really been signing guys. I've just been re-signing guys for the most part. I guess I'll buy some of the retirement influences. And I really haven't done anything for kicker because, let's be honest, it is less important than some other things. Playoff time. Another first-round bye for this team. 14-2. Our best record of the rebuild. Second best offense in the league. And our defense was also ranked second. Trey Lance over 4,000 yards, 37 touchdowns to only 5 interceptions. Saquon over 1,400 yards, 15 TDs, averaging almost 5.5 per carry for the 33-year-old running back still trucking along. No pun intended there. If we see his career numbers, I mean, it's basically about 1,300 yards a year maybe for 12 years, minus 2020 where he tore his ACL. So he's going to be quickly approaching some of the all-time running back records and had a bunch of touchdowns as well. So good for him. Cedric Murray, who is ready to go, had a good year. Jalen Waddle over 1,000 yards and only 66 catches. Had 8 touchdowns, 8 TDs for Sean Diggs as well. Pretty good year from the tight end. Steven Pittman in there. And then defensively, Isaiah Simmons, 5 tackles for loss on 111 tackles, 4 sacks, 3 picks. Great year. Elton Devine, 15 sacks. Led the team. Harold Landry with 12, 11.5 for Josh Mayer. Some of these numbers are crazy. The X-Man, 4 picks, 3 for Simmons, Zaire Banks, and Don Rose. And then yearly awards, I would be shocked to see Trey Lance win the MVP. Lamar Jackson gets it. Ravens went 15-1. They're really coming for it all, huh? NFC Offensive Player of the Year is Trey Lance, though. No Saquon. He should probably have gotten some votes. Elton Devine finishes at number 2 for Defensive Player of the Year. He's a 99 overall. Eric Goodson at 8. No Isaiah Simmons. Shocking. Offensive Rookie of the Year is James Mason. And we got some guys in there. James Hatcher, D receiver. Who is that? Stephon Gray. Defensive Rookie of the Year is Tyler Shikowski. Leonard Allen at 3. Saquon is at almost 16,000 yards, averaging 5 yards per carry, and 111 rushing touchdowns. If we go to NFL records for career, first of all, Trey Lance is working his way up. He will be on this list when it's all said and done. And he's really not too far from all-time passing touchdowns. But for rushing yards, Zeke is the #1 all-time leading rusher, passes Emmitt Smith. And there's Saquon Barkley. Really, really chasing down some of these guys above him. Nick Chubb, Frank Gore, Walter Payton, Josh Jacobs, even probably Joe Mixon are just a season away if he stays in the league. And then for rushing touchdowns, he is not quite there. I think he's 1 touchdown away from Aaron Jones. JT Stevens is going to be up to a 77 overall. He's only a rookie. Offers absolutely nothing as a zone player, so I will upgrade zone. Make him a little bit more balanced at least, as his zone goes up to 66, if it even went up at all. Was it 64? I don't know. We got the Eagles in the divisional. We beat them 35-24. They put up a pretty good fight. And then the Saints in the conference championship. Once again, we were 1 game away from the Super Bowl, and we are back in the Super Bowl. Trey Lance versus Patrick Mahomes. It's becoming a classic matchup at this point. Super Bowl Atlanta. This is what, our 6th Super Bowl? I gotta check this. I mean, my head coach is the #1 head coach all time for legacy score. Bill Belichick would be up here if he had his actual coach in the game. 5 Super Bowls, 5 NFC championships. Every single time we've been to the Super Bowl, we've won the Super Bowl. Let's try to make that Super Bowl #6 for my head coach. I also want to see career stats for like Elton Devine and Jalen Waddle. Jalen Waddle's at 80 TDs, over 10,000 yards. And he still has more time to play, like, for sure. And then defensively, Harold Landry's at 133 sacks. Oh, my goodness. Devine at 84.5. I could definitely see him chasing down the all-time sack record. Like, it's going to be really, really tough. But it definitely is doable. Jalen Waddle not for receiving yards or touchdowns, but he's maybe 4 seasons away. And then for sacks, Harold Landry not quite on the list. Okay, so we were a little farther away than I thought. But only like, what, 20? Was it 140 or was it 150? I don't even remember. But Super Bowl Atlanta, another Super Bowl opportunity. Chiefs are only an 86 overall. They're no match. Chiefs finally score. We're up 9-7. We kick another field goal, make it 12. But now the Chiefs score 14. 21-12 Chiefs. 27-12 Chiefs. We're trying to come back. Down by 8. Oh, we got to jump in. We got to jump in and make a stop. The Chiefs are driving. Dude, where is Don Rose going? Also, he has a superstar badge next to his name. So Don Rose is up to superstar dev. We didn't check the development change increases. But that's really nice. We need a big stop here. We got to send everybody. We need a sack. Okay, so we're down 30-19. We need a legendary comeback. Thankfully, we have some elite speed. We got to avoid the sack there. What? Andrew Thomas, dude. You got to hold that. Brutal throw out a sack animation. Chiefs returned it to the house. 37-19. I mean, there's nothing that I really could have done differently there other than get the ball out earlier. I didn't really like my options. So it looks like we're probably going to end up losing this one. Which, I mean, I guess we were due. Guess we were due. Going deep down the field. Oh, we have a step! Never mind. The ball's underthrown. And there's your Super Bowl. The Chiefs are finally going to beat us. Well played. Well played. Chiefs won it all. 37-19. I don't know, man. Like, that was a tough one. Throw out a sack animation killed me. And then the game was already over at that point. I thought we had a step deep. And I guess the ball was just a little bit underthrown. Interception. Ended the game. Chiefs win the Super Bowl. Let me see some dev trade increases, though. None on offense. How does Sean Diggs not go up? He's such a high overall. But the fact that Don Rose was able to get superstar was awesome. He is 27 already. Kind of surprising. I feel like he can't be that old. Did Elton Devine get superstar X Factor, or did he have it? He didn't have it? All right. I kind of am surprised by that. Linebacker of the year. And we're going to give him unstoppable force and edge threat. Also, Eric Goodson went up to Superstar X Factor as well. I mean, when the Giants won all those Super Bowls, well, I guess in 1986 and 1990 is what I mean, they were defined by their linebackers. Carl Banks, Harry Carson, Gary Reasons, and of course the best defensive player of all time, Lawrence Taylor. And this is a linebacking crew that could definitely rival those guys. This is a very good team. You guys know that. So Jair Alexander is a free agent. Oh, is he? Or did he just retire? He's like, psych. We click on him to re-sign him, and he's just not there. So I'm guessing Jair's going to be here. Yeah. Jair Alexander retires, which honestly is for the best because he was awesome for us. Really, really good player. But also that frees up a lot of cap room to bring back players that are younger and probably more important to the team at this point. Cedric Murray, we are going to give a contract extension to. Or at least I thought we would. But now I'm less sure about it. He's 26 years old and fairly expensive. Contract extension for Terrence Wilson. Who else do I need in here? Evan Malone, no. Cedric Murray, it's going to have to be a probably not for me. Don't need any of the receivers. Don't need the tight end. Andrew Thomas, probably for 2 years. He's not worth that contract, though. Not even close. So I'm not going to give him that. BJ Robbins, I do want him probably for 3 years. Dude, these guys are so expensive for what they actually bring to the table. But BJ Robbins is back. Harold Landry's got to go. I mean, he's down to superstar. And I thought dev trait regression was off, but he lost it. Here's the thing. He's an 80 overall, playing up with morale, but he's just not the player he used to be. He's 35 years old. Go to the Hall of Fame or something, Harold, but we can't bring you back. However, Tyrone Bullitt has 91 finesse moves. He's ready to just jump right in. Cheap contract. Could be a really good player. Welcome back for 5 years. Do I want Braxton Roten? I mean, he is pretty good. A little bit too expensive, again, for his actual ability and development trait. So we're going to lose him to free agency. Jalen Redd. Could this be our Harold Landry replacement? Well, Harold Landry certainly doesn't have 97 finesse moves anymore. Jalen Redd looks really good. And we actually have money to sign some of these guys. So Jalen Redd would be a pretty big addition. Antoine Oliver. Hold on a second. Also 26. I'd probably rather have the guy we're going after, just because he's a higher overall. No one even wants Andrew Thomas. I mean, you're asking for way too much, my guy. I'm going to take down that contract to something I think is fair for you. And we're going to give you a savvy veteran deal. So we're down to an 87 overall right now. Lowest overall in a minute. But if you look at our actual team, the interior of the offensive line is great. We are missing a right tackle. No, we're actually not, because we have DeAndre Ingram. So we're really just only missing a left tackle. And if Andrew Thomas signs, we're fine. Receiving core is pretty good. And then defensively, we just need... We don't even necessarily need that edge rusher. I don't know how Eric Goodson has played so well at outside linebacker when he's not like a speed rusher type. He really can't get after the QB at all. But that's just not the role that he's been in. Isaiah Simmons is super old, but Eric Goodson will move back to inside linebacker when the time is right, when Isaiah Simmons' contract's done. He's just so old at this point. 1 year left on his deal. We might even have to trade him. Goodson would move inside. So going into the draft, we're looking at maybe safety, cornerback for sure, and D-line. Oh, let's bring Dexter Lawrence back. 1 year deal. Let's give him 2. And I got to take the money way down. Way down. Red rejected my contract. Okay. Guess you don't want to win a Super Bowl. Went to the Rams. Well, I don't want anybody else. So if Lawrence comes back to New York, and if Andrew Thomas comes back, they both reject. Just not team-oriented guys. We'll pick up the 5th-year option on this right guard. He didn't barely see the field. He was our starting right guard. You're not watching the games, clearly. Picking at number 31 now. Do we look for a QB of the future? I mean, Trey Lance is young still, so definitely not. And there goes the player I was going to take. Wasn't supposed to go till about mid-second. He goes at number 30. Lamar Basley, linebacker out of the U. That's the next Ray Lewis. I mean, hopefully he doesn't murder anybody.
Actually, Ray Lewis was innocent.
Yep, sure he was. I'm going to take a QB here at the end. Andrew Agnew out of Oregon State. 75 overall, number 11 in the class. Star or better development. I mean, he looks like he's got that Trey Lance build. He looks very good. Take Matthew Benson here. Early second round guy. Has the build of an amazing linebacker, so we're going to take him. 72 overall, star better development, only 21 years old, 89 speed. He looks fantastic. If we took this guy in the first and it said like 76 overall, I think you'd probably believe that. He looks fantastic. Just pursuit and tackling are a bit low. I'll let the CPU handle the rest. And Lamar Basley has normal development. Would you rather have him or the middle linebacker we took? So 75 normal or 72 star better? I think I'd rather have the guy we took. That actually worked out really well for us. Now, Trey Lance is only 30, but I think the QB we drafted was just kind of... It was a chance worth taking. And if you see the final years of Trey Lance's contract, we're actually going to have a lot of room to wiggle around because he's 48.1 mil right now, but only 21 and 24 in 2032 and 2033. So we don't have a right tackle right now because Ingram's going to play left tackle. So he's just kind of bad. And then our defense obviously has gotten a bit worse because Bullet is just not extremely developed yet. But if he has a really good season, I wouldn't be surprised. He's got 91 finesse moves. We know Mayer's a pretty good player. He's been a rush D tackle for a long time, and he'll probably end up being that as well this year. But it's a solid team. And we didn't need a middle linebacker, really, because George Sims is in here. He's a pretty good player. But I think, again, just kind of too good to pass up. Because Isaiah Simmons will not be here next year. Will Sims even? Probably not. Just because he's in the final year of his deal. I can't really see me re-signing him. 11-5, still made the playoffs anyway, winning the division. Best offense in the league. Trey Lance is just trying to break the all-time yards record very clearly. The defense took a big step back, which I guess is expected. We lost to a lot of big players. Lance was still amazing. Interceptions was up quite a bit. Saquon, big year regression from him, going from like about 5 yards per carry down to below 4, which I guess can be expected. Fumbled. Did have 11 touchdowns and over 1,000 yards, though. Receiving, Steven Pittman, almost 1,200 yards and 11 touchdowns. Very good year from him. Waddle, over 1,100 yards, 5 TDs. Sean Diggs was pretty good as well. Tyrell Waters was good. And then defensively, where I think we can expect to see some not-so-great numbers, Eric Goodson was still very good. 113 tackles, 8 for loss. Also 8.5 sacks. 13 from Elton Devine. He also had 13 sacks. Led the team. 6 sacks from Mayer. 5.5 for the Bullet. Tyrone Bullet interceptions. 2 for Elton Devine. That's got to be Defensive Player of the Year consideration for sure. JT Stevens with 2. And then for yearly awards, we have Jason Denton winning MVP. Trey Lance not inside the top 10. NFC Offensive Player of the Year is Jason Denton. Trey Lance at 6. Defensive Player of the Year is Gage Thomas. Elton Devine at 4. Eric Goodson at 10. Offensive Rookie of the Year, Jerry Baber. And then Defensive Rookie of the Year is Will Harriott. Rams in the wild card. We'll be able to beat them. No, we are not. We get crushed. So I guess that's that. We will not beat the Rams. Not even close. Jalen Waddle is going to be a free agent. Let's check out this team. We'll see some dev traits. Andrew Agnew, superstar. That is very interesting. I don't know what to do about that just yet. Trey Lance, we can't even upgrade because he's pretty much just maxed out. I mean, he's got 99 everything. Trey Lance is ridiculous. Pittman got up to star dev. We need a tackle pretty badly. We also need a running back. Saquon retired. And then defensively, Benson had star. He's up to a 77 overall already, though. and he really doesn't even play. Isaiah Simmons retired. Xavier McKinney's probably going to retire very, very soon. Zaire Banks up to star dev. Mayer finally goes up in development trade. He's 30, though. So he's regressing, so it doesn't really matter. We'll keep him around a little while longer. And then Don Rose up to superstar last year. Chilling at a 92 overall. Good to see that. So Jalen Waddle is 32 and wants 18 mil a year. Come on, Jalen. I mean, you're lucky we can afford that. George Sims, I'm going to let him go. Steven Pittman is probably going to want too much. You know, that isn't terrible, but I think we can get a better player for that price. Josh Mayer. We'll give him 3 years. I think that's reasonable. He's going to test free agency. That's fine. Jalen Waddle, I do want back. He's so expensive. 4-year deal. 88.3. He's going to test free agency. We'll have to compete to bring him back in free agency. Jesus. Okay, well, we're bringing nobody back pretty much. Down to an 86 overall. Offense took a huge shot. But we have 100 mil. DK Metcalf is in here. I probably ended up trading that middle linebacker, George Sims or whatever his name is. But, wow. We got the top 2 players I wanted in Pounds and Mayer, bringing back Mayer. But Jalen Waddle will not be a New York Giant next year. Man, that is brutal. Might be able to orchestrate some type of trade. Would love for him to retire here. But he wanted to go elsewhere, man. That is rough. I mean, I offered him a ton, but in the end, he ended up signing with the San Francisco 49ers. I got to do some type of trade. I got to do something to get him back. There's really just no trade I can do. So, at least for this year, Jalen Waddle is going to be playing somewhere else. NFL draft time. I'm not afraid to trade up. Our team has got significantly worse without Jalen Waddle. We need a tackle. That's not true. We have Pounds. We need maybe a wide receiver. We need a running back for sure. And then on defense, I still think I need an edge rusher. I need a safety maybe. Simulating to number 24. And the running back is available. Emmanuel Silver would start right away no matter what. And that is tempting. I'm going to take Kevin Tart here, though. 74 overall. Only normal development. Number 8 in the class. Took him at 24. Not much of a deep route runner. But overall is definitely a decent player. Trading Sherman, 77 overall receiver on my team. And that is a weak position for us. But we just drafted one. And we're going to rock out with him as our third option. Trading a third-round pick this year, number 88. Number 152 to move up to 33. First pick of the second round. And that is where I am going to take the running back. Emmanuel Silver out of Washington State. Welcome to the team. Number 1 in the draft at 77 overall. Only normal development. He's certainly good. Number 1 player in the class. Just lack of a development trait over star. Kind of hurts him. There goes the player I was going to take like 15 picks down the board. And he goes literally the next pick. At the end of the second round, taking Will Bright, 21-year-old pass rusher out of UCLA. Maybe will end up playing D-tackle for us. Is number 2 in the class. Took him at 56. Normal dev. But it does have really high power moves. And the CPU can take care of the rest. Man, this was a super weak draft class. Ryan Moody, only normal dev. Not mad about it. So this is the team. It is pretty good. Obviously, it is significantly worse than some of the teams we put out there in the past. But it's still a pretty good group. This is how the specialists will look with the rush players. Bright and Mayer up the middle at D-tackle. Of course, we just drafted him. Bullet and Devine off the edge. Wilson and Benson sub linebackers. Slot receiver, we're just going to leave it as is and simulate to the playoffs. 11-5 made the playoffs. Won the division, but are still performing, playing in the wild card. We've been getting used to these first round buys. It isn't happening as our team is a little bit worse now. But still, you know, solid team for sure. And then defensively, see some upgrades a little bit. No dev trait upgrades, obviously. That won't come until the Super Bowl. But 89 overall team. How did we do? Trey Lance, pretty good year. Offense dropped off. It was been about, top 2 every single year. Now it's 8th or whatever, and that's because we don't have a running back. Emmanuel Silver, rough rookie year from him. James Hatcher, though, 1,200 yards, 9 TDs. Sean Diggs, over 1,000 yards, 9 touchdowns. Tyrell Waters, great year from the tight end. And then Kevin Tart, the rookie, put up okay numbers for a rookie, I guess. Tackle numbers are way down, as our inside backers were just not doing a whole lot. Will Bright had 10 tackles for loss as a rookie. And look at Elton Devine. 19.5 sacks. 9 for Eric Goodson. 7 for Josh Mayer, 6 for the Bullet. Will Bright as a rookie, 4.5. 4 for Terrence Wilson, who did have a good year. 3 picks, 4 sacks, 87 tackles, 6 for loss. Led the team in picks along with Zaire Banks, JT Stevens, and Don Rose. So I would say successful year. Trey Lance at 3rd for MVP. NFC Offensive Player of the Year is Trey Lance. Defensive Player of the Year, Amari Gray. Elton Devine at 2. Terrence Wilson at 10. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Emmanuel Silver. Kevin Tart at 2. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Brian Moody. Safety we couldn't draft. Will Bright at 4. So that is interesting. Trey Lance is going to be on the fast track, the best QB ever. Can we beat the Cowboys in the wild card? Yes. Lions in the divisional? Yes. Oh, and it's Jalen Waddle. It's Jalen Waddle and the 49ers in the conference championship. Waddle somehow left to join a better team, and they beat us. Good move. All right. Good move. You left us to go join the team that would beat us in the conference championship. But maybe, just maybe, if you were on our team, we would have won. Sean Diggs goes up to star dev. So maybe Waddle was the difference. Hatcher also goes up to star dev. Kind of surprised the running back didn't after winning Offensive Rookie of the Year with really bad numbers. But he started. I guess there's that. And then defensively, anything to note? I don't think so. I don't think we see any upgrades here. Trey Lance is chasing down Breeze, Mahomes, and Brady. He's won 5 Super Bowls. It's kind of ridiculous. He also, at just 31 years old, is on the all-time passing touchdowns list. Oh my. Saquon at number 5 all-time for rushing yards. Of course, he retired. And then for rushing touchdowns, he's at number 9, just passing Adrian Peterson. Check out them next to each other on the back wall. Receiving touchdowns, DK's in there. Or for receiving yards. No Jalen Waddle? Is he there for receiving touchdowns? There's DK. And then it's 145 sacks from JJ Watt to get to top 10 sacks all time. How close is Elton Devine to 145? He's at 117 right now. He is going to be a free agent. He's 31 and regressing. No. Wow, some big free agents. Some really big free agents. Xavier McKinney, unfortunately, has to go. Just way too old. We have a ton of money. Just so much to bring guys back, so we're going to be able to. Elton Devine, I would give him a 4-year deal very comfortably. And he's going to test free agency. You're going to get franchise tagged. So, there's that. Eric Goodson is effectively asking for edge money. Is anyone going to give him 19 mil? You're going to play for a new team next year? I can't bring you back at that price. There's just no way. Taylor Kruger is back. That was a big one. Sean Diggs, I'd give 3 years to, maybe, which he's not going to want. Yeah, test free agency. Go ahead. Nick Brooks is back. Calvin Cadet, I do want. 26-year-old corner. Still developing his skills. And he's back. And J.R. Smith is here. I haven't even made any jokes about that. Didn't really even notice him. All right, Andrew Agnew, the QB we drafted. He's not going to play. We have Trey Lance. Let's be honest. 3rd-round pick and a 5th-round pick this year brings Jalen Waddle back to the Giants. Had to be done. All right, we're going to make sure Eric Goodson's back. Xavier McKinney will retire a Giant. We got a new tight end in O'Sullivan, not to be confused with Ronnie O'Sullivan, stud snooker player, and another backup tight end as well behind O'Sullivan. Here's the thing about O'Sullivan is he is 25 years old, was very cheap, and has a pretty high upside, high ceiling. So I like him as a player. Bringing Jalen Waddle back, I think, is going to be really, really big for our offense. And then defensively, we know what we have in Eric Goodson. He's been amazing for us. So we needed to bring him back. And then going into the draft, I'm looking at D tackle. I'm looking still at corner. And I'm looking at safety. We got to do something about Xavier McKinney. Like, he's on a short deal. Again, to retire as a Giant. But he can't be the guy. His name is Hugh Johnson. As in, like, Hughes Johnson. I'm such an idiot. Trading Tart and Bullet for the number 8 overall pick. We just don't need Tart. I know we just drafted him, but, like, he's not that big of an upgrade, and he costs more than the guy right below him. And then Bullet is 27 years old. Like, isn't progressing all that quickly. I'd rather take my shot at somebody in the draft or move Will Bright back to defensive end. It's just not worth keeping him, in my opinion. Trading Silas Thompson and Alonzo Dean for number 25 from the Titans. Getting some picks, trying to bring in some players that can help us out a lot. So picks is often a way to do that. I'm getting a little crazy here. A player that we don't need. Scott Haynes, 21 years old, but also is an early first-round quarterback. Had to happen. 76 overall, star better development, number 4 in the class, segment number 8. This was a move that needed to happen for the same reason that we just used that quarterback to trade for Jalen Waddle. Some of these young QBs can really help better your team, even if they're not playing, because they can be valuable trade pieces, and that's exactly what he could end up being. Victor Rucker here out of Florida State. Early first-round guy. Fits the scheme. He is a 77 overall, number 2 in the class, taking him at number 25. 85 speed to go with 81 finesse moves. I think he's going to be a little bit more valuable than Tyrone Bullet. So that's why I made that move. Now, we don't necessarily need offensive line help right now, but Tyson Devine is too good to pass on. Reuniting him with his older brother, or younger, or older cousin, whatever we want to say. Elton Devine, early first-round center, looks amazing and is. Number 1 in the class is a center with star or better development. He is a monster, and we might have to start him right away. End of the second round now. And the player I want is still available. Kenny Callan, speed rusher out of Bama, amazing combine. Only 75 overall, normal dev. He's number 6 in the class. It just wasn't a super strong draft class. And his finesse moves is only 74. Yikes. Trading a future 3, a 4, and a 6 this year for a third-round pick from the Dolphins, I want to say it was. And the running back I wanted is gone, so we're going to take a D tackle. Worked out well. Alani Stackhouse, 73 overall, star or better development. Offers almost no pass rush, so that's cool. Number 17 in the class. And we will advance to the end of the draft. 9-7, barely made the playoffs, finishing 3rd in the division, our worst finish in a while. Trey Lance still appears to be pretty good. Interception numbers are higher than I would want. Emmanuel Silver still trying to figure it out at running back. He is not amazing. And then receiving Jalen Waddle, almost 1,200 yards, 8 TDs. James Hatcher, over 1,000 yards, 5 touchdowns. Got some decent numbers in there, nothing crazy. And then Terrence Wilson, 125 tackles, 6 for loss, 4.5 sacks. He is very, very good. Matthew Benson, like what I see from him. Elton Devine had 12 tackles for loss, 15 sacks. I mean, he's just consistently amazing. Mayer had 7.5. Victor Rucker, the rookie, had 5. 4.5 for Terrence Wilson, 3 for Will Bright. Interceptions, 4 for Zaire Banks, 2 for JT Stevens, 2 for Xavier McKinney, who really wasn't even supposed to be starting. Don Rose, I don't even know if he just doesn't get targeted, but he does not have interceptions on a year-to-year basis. I mean, it's usually below 3. It's never been higher than 3. Yearly awards, we have Lamar Jackson winning MVP. Trey Lance at 8. NFC Offensive Player of the Year is Andrew Moore. Trey Lance at 6. Defense Player of the Year is Elton Devine. Offensive Rookie of the Year is Chris Childress. Defensive Rookie of the Year, Cameron Tate Rucker at 2. Wild card against the Bears. Come on, Giants. Yeah, we beat them 27-7. It's going to be a tough one, though. We got the Saints in the divisional. 1 game away from a conference championship. And we lose by a touchdown. Brutal. And we've done it again. Scott Haynes, superstar dev QB. I am happy with that, I'll tell you. That is super fine. Devine, I ended up moving to left tackle, by the way. Only star dev, but he is pretty good and looks the exact same as Pounds, who we signed, who we no longer have any need for now. Phrase that very oddly. No dev trait upgrades. You figured that Wilson may have, but didn't unfortunately go up. And Trey Lance is a free agent. Don Rose, BJ Robbins in there, who we don't need anymore because we're just going to move Pounds to center maybe. Decent players in there. How is Xavier McKinney not retired yet? He's 36. Go be with your family or something. Travis McKee's got to go. The only one I'm really worried about is Trey Lance. And I can sign him for 5 years. And that's exactly what happens. Got to keep our 99 overall QB. Don Rose is back. James Hatcher, I think I want back as well. 5 years. JT Stevens is back as well. And I think we're just going to let the rest walk, including Travis McKee, who's at number 1 for some reason. In free agency, we got Kyle Pitts in here. I mean, it's usually only old players at this point. David Villa. Oh, that's a FIFA throwback. Rondale Moore's 34. So we did get Kyle Pitts. I thought a stud tight end would be worth having for a couple years. So he actually signed a 3-year deal. And now to the draft in 2034. Steelers at number 1 overall. At number 25, what is available? There's a safety, Jonathan Streeter out of Texas Tech. Could take a center, but I mean, we're not just going to keep doing that. Looks like it's going to be the safety. Jonathan Streeter out of Texas Tech. 73 overall, only normal development. Taking Xavier McKinney's spot and number. And I think I'll just let the CPU handle the rest. And they're actually going to handle the rest for about the next 4 years, probably. I think I'll see you guys in 2038. Trey Lance has 99 everything. Except for play action. He sucks at that. And the only reason we could even upgrade him is because he regressed, but then he got upgraded right back. But this is the team. Very good group of players. I mean, it really is. And hopefully we win another couple Super Bowls. We have 5 Super Bowls right now and 6 championships in the NFC. My coach has never won Coach of the Year. Yeah, okay. So here in 2038, let's take a look at the new team. So a lot has changed, but some things have stayed the same. Lost a lot of big players. Trey Lance is down to a 90 overall at 37 years old. He's losing a lot. But on the bright side, we got James Hatcher. He's up to Superstar X Factor, 1 receiver of the year as well. We'll check out the... I guess we can't check out the stats because we're at the start of the next season, but it seems like they were pretty good. We're going to see a lot of things here in a minute. And then defensively, Elton Devine is gone. I mean, almost everybody from the defense is gone. We have been passed by Cable. The Ravens have been killing it. Did win Coach of the Year, but no more Super Bowls, no more NFC championships. Trey Lance, 31 yearly awards. Still behind Lamar Jackson passes him. Just 4 Super Bowls. That's wild. Saquon's number 3 all time because of those Super Bowls. Receivers, it looks like the Ravens have a monster. Jason Hatcher. Is his name Jason Hatcher? That was a former NFL player. I don't know what this guy's name is. No Jalen Waddle in there. Pounds left us to go to Seattle. Brooks is the all-time left guard. Center. Devine left to go to Chicago. Won a bunch of yearly awards, but no Super Bowls, of course. Kruger is the second right guard all-time. Jason Peters, I guess, is a right guard now. And then Ingram left us to go to the Bucks. Harold Landry is 3rd all-time for left ends. Right, or D-tackle first, excuse me. We never really had a stud D-tackle. Right end, of course, it's going to be Myles Garrett. We don't have anyone in there. Leach was the number 1 overall pick by the Cardinals, and it looks like he's still there and has played pretty well. Left outside linebacker, TJ Watt. This is where we should start to see some players that we had, but, I mean, guys retired. They wouldn't even be on here. Middle linebacker, Patrick Queen made the Hall of Fame, but you're not going to see Isaiah Simmons. There's, was Wilson, I think was our middle linebacker, right? Yeah, Terrence Wilson. He is down to a 72 overall at 33. Right outside linebacker. The number 1 all-time is Elton Devine. Left us and won a Super Bowl somewhere else. So good for him. 18 yearly awards. Hall of Famer. Awesome to see from him. Cornerback Don Rose, number 2 all time. And there's Nails, the guy we tried to draft or thought about drafting, but went to the Ravens, who have crushed it. Free safety. There's Moody. I mean, we would see Xavier McKinney in there for sure. And then Zaire Banks. Yeah, those Super Bowls really carry our numbers there. Trey Lance, 74,000 yards, 620 touchdowns. For perspective, that is 3rd all-time in yards. He is gaining on Brady and Breeze. I'm not sure he's ever going to catch them. Passing touchdowns, number 2. He could pass Tom Brady. In fact, he probably will. Rushing yards, we've seen. Receiving yards, did Waddle end up finishing inside the top 10? No. Receiving touchdowns, is he in there? No. Micah Parsons is up there for sacks. Elton Devine with the Seahawks finishes 4th all-time in sacks. Myles Garrett crushes everybody. And then interceptions. I mean, no one in simulation gets enough interceptions to ever even be close to there. Made the playoffs at 8-8. Won the division here in 2038. Man. 5th best offense. Trey Lance came out to prove a point. Our defense was terrible. But if you see NFL records, Trey Lance is really gaining on Breeze and Brady. And for passing touchdowns, he is number 1 all time. Trey Lance has a very, very, very strong claim to be the best quarterback of all time. I mean, if you see him compared to Tom Brady, compared to Lamar Jackson, compared to Patrick Mahomes, he's got more yearly awards. He's got 1 fewer Super Bowl, even if he hasn't been to as many. It's a Michael Jordan versus LeBron James thing of, oh, Tom Brady's been to more. Oh, yeah, well, he's lost more. Trey Lance is the best ever. So actually, there's more to the argument to that. I'm aware. We'll upgrade our team and see if we can beat the Packers in the wild card. Going for another Super Bowl here. There is a chance. 12-4 Lions stand in our way, and they beat us 31-28. We're going to an offseason. We'll be one of the final ones. 2039 and then 2040 is where we end. So we do have a lot of money. 208 mil in cap room because we lost all of our best players. Don't tell anyone, but I think I forgot to turn on a bunch of auto stuff. So he's going to play for a new team. I'm probably going to franchise tag him. He's not that expensive as a guard. And then James Hatcher, I will give a big deal to because it is really important to keep him. So we do keep him. Trey Lance is down to an 86. I mean, we're going to give him another contract, though. I want to keep him around, see if he can break some more records. He's going to test free agency. We can sign him back in free agency. I'm not really worried about that. And then I am going to franchise tag Taylor Kruger. Okay, so we are losing some big players, but hopefully we get them back and more in what should be the final free agency. 186 mil. Okay, so after free agency, we've made quite a few changes to the team. As you can see, there are some new faces in there, like Dexter Ball, who's going to play tight end for us, 35 years old. We got a vet squad now. Pounds is back. As you can see, these running backs have been here, like Chris Bradshaw, for example. Superstar Dev. They're just pretty low overall at this point. Running backs are so tough in simulation, but their young running backs are pretty good. Looks like Trey Lance decided not to sign with us. So that kind of sucks. New cornerback is 33-year-old Chris Gibson. He looks familiar because he looks like Don Rose. Speaking of Don Rose, he is back. 35 years old. Still hanging in there. He's not very good. Just going to simulate to pick number 25 here in the first round. Haven't really done much trading up at all. I think I'm actually going to use this pick to trade for Trey Lance. He's coming back. There's Andrew Agnew. 94 overall. It's a big trade. We're trading 2 first-round picks, one this year, one next year, and Highsmith, who was a pretty good young outside linebacker. But also, we had to get Trey Lance back. I mean, he carried the rebuild, multiple Super Bowls. I want to do my last season with Trey Lance on the team. Take Keon Armstrong in the second, 71 overall, number 32, took him at 57. CPU is probably going to do the rest. So this is the team. The defense is poor. I had made a huge mistake with not turning on like auto contracts for that 1 year. But we brought back the best quarterback in NFL history, Trey Lance. Doesn't have the most yards ever, and won't after this season either, probably. but he'll be real close. Has thrown the most touchdowns in NFL history. Has 5 Super Bowls. You could certainly make an argument for Trey Lance at this point. Wow, didn't make the playoffs in 2039. 6-10. 10th best offense. Lance was still pretty good. 4,300 yards, 29 TDs. We just have no running game, and that's a big problem. James Hatcher's still balling out. I mean, he's going to put up a pretty good case for one of the better receivers that we've ever seen. As far as the defense goes, Chris Gibson, the cornerback, led the team in tackles. That's never a good sign. Didn't have a ton of pressure. Steve Fowler put up 11.5 sacks. Okay. 4 picks for Jalen Vickers. Yearly awards, maybe Lance in here somewhere. Yep. At number 9 for Offensive Player of the Year. And as for NFL records, Trey Lance still just behind Breeze. If he plays for another season, if he plays for just one more season, just another season, I think we'll see him as the all-time leading passer in NFL history for yards as well. But he might retire. Like, there's a good chance it happens here. Oh. I do not see Trey Lance. Dale Pounds is gone. But it looks like Trey Lance is going to stick around. Yep, he's still under contract for 2040. CPU is going to handle the re-signings and the offseason. And we'll just check out the team for the start of 2040. The final year. Okay, here is the team for 2040. Not a ton of big upgrades. Seems like we even lost some big players. How did the CPU not add better players? I should have done it myself. The reason I didn't want to is because I knew we'd have infinite money. Just didn't want to sign every single free agent. But this was not a very good offseason by the CPU. But that is the team for the final season. We've done 20 years. Looks like we're going through a bit of a dry streak for wins here in the final 2. But other than that, I mean, this team was dominant, especially within the first 10 years. 5 Super Bowls. Are you kidding me? And we finished by not making the playoffs, going 7-9. Trey Lance, again, 4,400 yards, though, 31 touchdowns. It's just the running game completely disappeared. James Hatcher has had a very, very, very good career. I mean, he didn't play the first 2 years of his career, really, and then started to put up a case for best receiver in NFL history, and that's not an exaggeration. What is that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 straight years of at least 1,000 yards, and usually at least 1,300, sometimes as low as 1,250. And then for touchdowns, I mean, what is that? 7 years of 10 or more touchdowns, and usually significantly more than 10. I don't want to look at career stats for him. I want to see team defense. Kevin Freeman led in tackles. Steve Fowler, 8.5 sacks. Wow, he's actually putting up pretty good sack numbers. Power moves at D tackle. Interesting. Interesting. Something to think about. As Trey Lance officially becomes the all-time leading passer. Most yards ever. Most touchdowns ever by a lot. Mahomes is nowhere even close. What happened to him, man? That's wild. But that is the video. 5 Super Bowls. And then for Trey Lance, he is the second most legacy scorer of all time. But has the most passing yards in NFL history. Has the most touchdowns in NFL history. Trey Lance is just on a different level. Trey Lance is actually still here. I will do one more year to see if he can pass. If he can pass Brady on the legacy score. So this is the 21-year rebuild of the Giants. The team for 2021 is just Trey Lance and James Hatcher. I mean, the CPU has done the absolute worst job bringing in talent. Like, this is why I never have anything on auto, because they suck. But we'll simulate to the playoffs. Trey Lance should pass Tom Brady here. Didn't make the playoffs in 2041 either. But Trey Lance threw for 4,000 yards, 27 touchdowns. Hatcher crushes it. 1,100 yards, 11 touchdowns. See, the thing that's interesting for him is he actually now gets on the NFL record list. Trey Lance extends his lead. 91,000 passing yards, 739 touchdowns. He's definitely going to retire. For receiving yards, he's not on there. But for receiving touchdowns, James Hatcher, 123. and probably will go even higher than that. Did Trey Lance finally retire? There's no way he's still playing. He does. After 21 years, Trey Lance finally retires. I mean, instant Hall of Famer. As the Bills actually won a Super Bowl over the Lions. Guess that's how you know this is a video game. But Trey Lance is an obvious choice for Hall of Fame. And basically we're seeing that Charles Davis, Trey Wingo, thinking that Trey Lance should probably be a Hall of Famer. And I think he should probably be a Hall of Famer as well. I think that's not really too big of a hot take, as he is still under Brady. But, I mean, he's number one all time in my heart, and that's all that matters. Thank you guys so much for watching the video. Hope you enjoyed, and I will see you in the next one. Take it easy.
I hit it at the park, bend bones. See me high step to the end zone. My life like a game, Nintendo. Playing with the best, let them know. Get off the track, the train's coming through. Yeah. Promise you get in my way, then you best believe I'ma just run over you. Yeah, yeah. I'ma turn taking it back to the house. Defensive joke, I'm laughing so loud.